All-Stars, Yankee captains, and even a few Hall of Famers.
These Yankees who are here today are the reasons why the Yankees are so successful. We are so excited to have them back with us today.
Well, any manager throughout the course of time would love to pencil these great names onto their lineup cards. There are Yankee legends here today, some of them Hall of Famers. You might see some guys even steal a base today, or potentially hit a home run like Tino Martinez did last year. Bernie Williams is back to take his swings. And as for our yes colleague Paul O'Neill, it's all about the game prep as we get set for the 66th annual Old Timers Day here at Yankee Stadium. And great to have you with us for the Tri-State Ford Old Timers Day pregame. Bob Lorenz along with Jack Curry. Meredith Morakovitz will be along, as well as Michael Kay in just a bit. Jack, this really is a day unlike any other.
It really is, Bob. The Yankees with their 27 World Championships. You mentioned the Hall of Famers. You see so many stars, so many legends. And what I like about it is the instant camaraderie. You see players in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s who are so excited to get into the locker room and get that uniform on. I have to tell you one quick anecdote. I saw Cecil Fielder show up in his civilian clothes, and then he pulled a Clark Kent into Superman. 60 seconds later, this guy had his uniform on. He wanted to get out on the field.
Oh, what's interesting, this day is about the old timers, but you have to remember it's a blending of the past and the present. We're going to see a lot of Yankees and probably even some of the White Sox players up on that top step watching what goes on.
Right, I watched the White Sox walk in, and they were peeking at all of the Hall of Famers, and I should say old timers, some Hall of Famers. But you're right, it is always interesting to me to see which Yankees actually come out into the dugout and take a look, and they just want to soak up being around the Yogi Berras and the Don Larsons, and always an exciting day.
And let's not forget about the fans in this as well, Jack, because we talk about, with the Yankees history, things being passed down from generations. In fact, Derek Jeter even talked about that when they were closing the old Yankee Stadium. You know, this is a chance for fans, dads and grandfathers, to bring their kids and say, well, I saw him play back in the 50s. I saw him play back in the 60s.
No doubt about it. If you were 8 or if you're 80 in the stands today, you want to see a Yogi Berra, you want to see a Don Larson. But Bob, as you and I were preparing to begin this show, I watched Paul O'Neill get into the batting cage, and he received a huge ovation. And Bernie Williams, before the game has even started, there's already been a couple of Bernie Williams chants while he was taking BP. All
right, so Jack and I are obviously on the third base side here at Yankee Stadium. Over on the first base side, it is our Meredith Morakovitz, and she is standing by. Meredith, good afternoon. And what are the players and the Yankees and Joe Girardi thinking about this latest Old Timers Day?
Well, Bob, everyone looks forward to this day. A lot of guys in that clubhouse are really historians of the game. They appreciate what guys in the past have done and really like to see them back here. Joe Girardi told me just a few minutes ago that one guy he always looks forward to seeing is Yogi Berra. No word on whether or not Yogi is here yet or if he's coming today, but he's a guy that he certainly likes to see, and, you know, some of his former teammates. And Joe Girardi was making a joke talking about what he does with his World Series rings and how he appreciates this day, and he said he jokes with some of his former teammates saying, you guys are old timers now. He doesn't fall into that category because he's still in the league as a manager, but overall an exciting day for everyone. I had the opportunity to speak with Tino Martinez, to name one, and Paul O'Neill, who's going to be playing in the game. David Cohn told me he's going to try to help some hitters out today, so the guys are looking forward to it. Just an opportunity for them to catch up with some of their former mates.
All right, now you mentioned it's Old Timers Day, obviously, but you mentioned some of the young-time old-timers, and one of those is Tino Martinez, who bit of a hallmark moment last year because he hit a home run in the Old Timers game.
Yeah, you know what? It was interesting. I spoke to him about that home run, and he told me it was a little bit of a planned occurrence. David Cohn told him that he was going to throw him a nice fastball over the plate, and he asked him where he wanted it. The first one was a little bit low. He brought it up a little bit, and Tino connected. And I said to him, hey, you still got to swing, you still got to make contact, and you still have to hit that on the barrel of the bat. And he said, yeah, that's true. But he certainly helped me out a little bit. Here's my conversation with Tino earlier today.
it's great. It's always fun to come back to Yankee Stadium, period, but to come back for Old Timers Day and see all the former players, all the former great players that have played here in the past, and just hang out with them for a couple of days is a lot of fun for us.
Is there anyone in particular? I know you were down in Tampa and you saw a lot of guys, but anyone during the course of these couple days that you look forward to seeing?
Yeah, it's always fun to see these guys again. You know, I see Yogi Berra in spring training, but I haven't seen him since, and it's always great to see him. He's one of those guys that, you know, he's such a legend and such a great person that you always look forward to seeing him. Don Larson, people like that who've done so many great things for the Yankees. It's exciting always.
I know it's not the same as when you played, but is there a competitive fire that comes out in you during these games at all?
There is, and I didn't think there would be. I always tell myself just go out there and have fun with it. When you step in the box, you want to hit it. You want to hit it hard and not embarrass yourself, basically. So you do get a little nervous.
Do you get ready for this at all? Do you hit the cages? Do you do anything, or you just show up, put the uniform on, and hope for the best?
You do that. I put the uniform on and hope for the best. I told myself this past week back home to go to the batting cage, you know, just hit some balls, at least so I don't get hurt. But I didn't do it. So hopefully I won't go out there and embarrass myself, and hopefully I'll hit the ball hard somewhere.
How difficult is it to get ready in this? You used to playing every day when you were back in your days as a player, but now you just kind of show up and hope for the best. So is it hard to get ready to go?
It is. You just got to make sure you stretch out good so you don't hurt yourself. But, you know, you're not playing to win or playing for your team, so it's easiest to go out there and really try to entertain the fans and just show them that we appreciate what they've done for us as well.
Looking back at your years here, what do you miss the most?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say just playing in Yankee Stadium. I tell everybody all the time, and opposing teammates, opposing team players, that there is nothing like playing day in and day out in Yankee Stadium, and you have to experience it firsthand to play in front of this crowd, and that's what I miss the most.
How much do you keep tabs on what the team is doing now?
A lot. I do. I don't watch a whole lot of baseball, but I do watch the Yankees here and there and follow them in the box scores, and I'm always on top of things, especially Jeter and guys like that who I've played with, and I'm always pulling for them to win another World Series.
You mentioned Jeter. You look at him, he's now 38. Can you believe he's still playing?
I can't believe it. No, he's old though, but he's so productive, and he's such a good player. He's a good hitter. He still makes the plays on defense, and I don't see him slowing down.
Some predictions for the game today.
Very low scoring.
Is there anyone in there that you saw? I know we just saw Paul O'Neill walk by. Anybody that looks like they can still play? They can get better?
Paul O'Neill, of course. He's in great shape. You know, Bernie's he's gained a few pounds, but he can still hit. You know, he's a great athlete, and Pat Kelly. A lot of guys there are in pretty good shape.
Kind of like riding a bike. You don't really ever lose it.
Well, yeah, you do lose a little bit, but you know, you still want to compete and perform and make the fans happy.
Dino, thanks so much for the time.
My pleasure.
Well, he says you lose a little bit, but he didn't lose much on June 26th of last year. It's a good look of that home run that Tino Martinez hit off of David Cone. And I saw David Cone in the hallway, and he said, guys are taking bets as to who gets to hit off of me this year. They know I like to group them over the middle of the plate this during this day. So guys are trying to get an AB against Mr. David Cone.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Meredith, thanks. We, of course, will hear much more from you throughout the course of the afternoon. Jack, let me ask you about that home run. I think we had to give David Cone an assist on the Old Timers Day box score for that one because he grooved it.
There's no doubt about it, Pop. I was in front of the third base dugout watching that at bat, and David Cone knows where Tino Martinez's happy zone is, so to speak. He was trying to get the ball a little bit below his hands, inside. Hey, give David Cone some credit. He understands what this game is about. Fans come out here. They want to see excitement. They don't really want to see anybody strike out. They want to see what Tino Martinez did. And, Bob, Tino Martinez hit over 300 career home runs. And I guarantee you, other than a dozen or so, he probably hears about that Old Timers Day more than he hears about a lot of his career home runs.
We're getting some looks at people in the cage. Paul O'Neill just leaving the cage, number 21, and getting a cheer from the crowd as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back here, we will continue our Old Timers Day coverage. Coming up, Bernie Williams, a conversation with him, another guy who potentially could go deep today.
Today's Old Timers Day pregame on Yes is presented by your Tri-State Ford dealers. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Visit your Tri-State Ford dealer tonight. Go further.
Everything looks good in pinstripes. So can you with the Yankees Edition Ford Escape.
The Yankees Edition Escape. Register at your local Tri-State Ford dealer or Yankees.com/Ford, and you could drive one home from the game on July 17th. Get your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Coors Light Silver Bullet aluminum pint with 16 ounces and a resealable cap. It's gonna be big, really big. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
With nearly 1 million winners a day, there's a little bit of luck for everyone.
Close a great deal with 500 bonus cash on Altima. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Test drive at your local Nissan dealer today. Hurry! Altima bonus cash ends July 2nd.
And we're back, and it's Paul O'Neill, Jack, in the cage, and he's still got that smooth swing.
He absolutely does. I've been watching the guys hit so far. I'm betting on Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams to get a hit today.
A lot of gap action to right center for Paul O'Neill in the batting cage as Willie Randolph throws to him, and Willie throwing him some terrific pitches. And back-to-back Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams. How about that in the cage?
And I think Willie Randolph's bringing that fastball at about 60 miles per hour. Nice hitting speed for the old-timers.
Perfect pace. One more swing, a little foul ball there from Paul. And, of course, Bernie Williams. Hard to believe he's 6 years removed from playing, and we take a look at all that he accomplished in 16 Major League seasons, a 4-time champion, the 98 American League batting title, and, of course, a 5-time All-Star. And our Meredith Marakovitz had a chance to catch up with him.
With Bernie Williams. Bernie, what's it like to be back here?
It's great. It's always great to be back here. You know, now this year I had an opportunity to see a lot of people that I haven't seen in years. You know, like Matt Noakes and Sterling Hitchcock and Tanyan Sturts and people like that. It's always great to see them.
Was there anyone in particular you were really looking forward to seeing coming into today?
I mean, not really. I mean, all the guys, I saw a lot of them last year. And it seems like this is going to be like a, you know, 1 year at a time thing, and every year we're going to have an opportunity to get this reunion going, and I'm always glad to be back.
What do you enjoy most? Seeing some of these guys you used to play with and seeing some of the older guys actually getting on the field and playing some baseball?
Right now, seeing some of the older guys, you know, and it's great to see them. When I was, some of the guys that are still coming back, you know, from the time that I was playing, which is not really that far ago, but I enjoy playing as well, but for the most part, it's just going to be seeing the guys and remembering, you know, telling all the stories and just remembering, you know, some of the great times we had.
Remembering some of those good times, can you pick one that's maybe the best memory here as a Yankee?
That's a very unfair question. I have too many. You know, all the championship series, you know, especially '98, you know, going in 2001, you know, after 9/11. What? And you know, all the different, you know, like the little moments that weren't really on TV and weren't really caught on camera, all the, you know, like little times that we spent in the clubhouse, you know, just teasing each other, just, you know, there's some great times.
So how much do you miss it? Do you miss it at all?
Oh, yeah. I think there's a part of me that's always going to miss it. You know, it doesn't matter how old you get, you're always going to be a big kid inside. And that kid part of me is always going to miss the game. You know, obviously, you know, can't do it anymore, and you got to find ways to keep yourself occupied. But it's just, you know, now it's going to the time that you kind of look back on it and you always get a little smile on your face.
How difficult is it to get back in that batter's box after not playing for a while?
Not really that much difficult. I think, you know, once you start, it's like riding a bike. You never forget. And now you don't have the pressure to be, you know, in the top of the ninth, you know, the World Series, you know, bases loaded for 2. So it's just going to be about just enjoying the game and enjoying the time and just, you know, take all the love that everybody has for you.
The competitive spirit, though, do you still want to do well? Do you want to get that hit? Do you want to perform?
Of course, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You just let it rip.
What's it like to hear the fans once again? I'm sure they'll be chanting your name, as they will many guys that are out on the field. Is that something that you look forward to?
It's always great. And I think, you know, the older that I get, the more I get to appreciate that, the more I can put myself back and put myself in a position that I can actually listen to the crowd and not really think about, you know, what's going to happen in the game, and to be so focused on you know, actually the development of the game. Now I get a chance to kind of like step back and say, oh, so this is what it was like when I was playing. So I think it's a great experience for me.
Some guys that you played with in your years here still on the Yankees. Do you keep in contact with them? Do you keep an eye on what they're doing?
Yeah, I try to keep in touch with them. It's so difficult for current players to to stay in touch. They have their whole seasons and ahead, and some of the guys are with injuries, and they have a lot of things to think about. So it's kind of difficult during the course of the year to try to stay in touch. But I always I keep them in my mind and in my heart, and wish them all well.
And quickly, before we let you go, you're going to be involved in the Futures game. How much are you looking forward to that?
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to me to see, actually, the current players and the guys that are coming up, to have that experience. I never really had that managerial experience, except for like those times that Joe Torre let me manage, the last game of the regular season. But I think it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Ernie, thanks for the time and best of luck today.
Thank you.
And again, Bernie, part of 4 World Championship teams. And Jack, your career at the Times kind of mirrored the start of his career when you became a beat writer for the Times. Was his rookie year?
1991, so I feel like I really got the opportunity to watch his career evolve. I remember, Bob, him showing up in the clubhouse, and he was a nervous, fidgety kid trying to fit in, and the Yankees trying to help him fit in. And he had some rough patches there. Some of the veterans weren't as welcoming as Bernie probably would have hoped for them to be. And then you see how he grew into this power-hitting switch hitter, center field, middle of the lineup. The ability to have a guy in the middle of your lineup hitting from both sides of the plate with what Bernie could do, just an unbelievable force on those championship teams.
Well, the man who's going to be on the mic in the Old Timers Day game, and also, of course, going to do the player introductions along with John Sterling, is our own Michael Kay. And Michael joins us now from the first base side. And Michael, let's talk about not only Bernie Williams, but we saw Paul O'Neill in the cage and some of the younger old timers. We're starting to see the power surge show up at Old Timers Day.
Well, you know what? I think there's a lot of pressure on Paul, and Lou Pinella's been putting pressure on Paul as well, considering that Tino Martinez went a yard last year. Tino also feels some pressure about going yard as well, because he's in much better shape than he was last year as well. So I think a lot of guys are going to be trying to jack it out here.
Michael, when I asked all the players, do you have a favorite Old Timers Day memory? I know for me, I remember just getting the chance to interview Joe DiMaggio once. In your time and all the Old Timers festivities that you've attended, does one moment or one interview or one exchange stand out?
Well, you know what? I guess it was the first time that I was the MC on the field, and I didn't even do it then with John Sterling. I just did it alone. And it was amazing, because as a kid, I would look forward to Old Timers Day, and I'd sit down in front of the TV and watch it on Channel 11, WPIX, and I'd sit there with my dad and watch the Old Timers Day, and Frank Messer used to do it back then. And then when I was on the field and I got an opportunity to introduce Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle, I mean, that was just classic Old Timers Day. I get goosebumps just thinking about it. I was standing there on the field, this kid who grew up 10 minutes from Yankee Stadium, and introducing Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle. It was pretty special that day.
And part of your job, Michael, doing those player introductions is knowing your timing, because some of the ovations that some of these guys receive is just tremendous.
It is amazing, especially when it was, it was Mickey, and then Joe would follow. And, Mickey would stand on the line after being introduced, and every time the crowd would die down just a little bit, he would step up and he would tip his cap, and then they would start roaring again, and you knew that Joe DiMaggio was waiting in the dugout, but you had to let Mickey get his time as well. So it's a real delicate balance. At least it was back then. Now it's really timed out a lot, and they leave it to me, and they leave it to John how long to go. But back then, sometimes Mickey Mantle would get a 5-6 minute ovation, and you knew that waiting was the greatest player at that time, greatest living player in baseball history. So you had to let him wait just a little bit. But there was a delicate balance right there. But it was fun, and you were right in the middle of it.
Well, it's absolutely a day of anticipation, not only for the introductions, but when the guys get in the batter's box as well. Michael, thanks. We will, of course, catch up with you a little bit later for the call of the game.
Sounds good, Bob. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here on our Tri-State Ford Old Timers Day coverage. And when we come back, the biggest legend of them all, a closer look at Yogi Berra.
All-stars young and old take over the stadium for a jam-packed Sunday on Yes. Coming up next, after the 66th annual Old Timers Day special, this year's Yanks take the field to close out their series with the White Sox. Pre-game coverage starts next, only on Yes.
moment of silence for the internet as we know it. A revolution in internet speed is here. More than twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Introducing Fios Quantum.
Hi, I'm Alex Rodriguez, and here's tonight's starting lineup on Yes.
Are you struggling to pay your credit card or medical bills? Are you behind on your mortgage or facing foreclosure? To see if bankruptcy is the right solution for you, call 888-LAW-9600. For over 15 years, the law offices of David I. Pankin has helped thousands of clients get a fresh financial start. We can help you get back on financial track while protecting your home, cars, and peace of mind.
Bankruptcy is not the end. It's a new beginning.
Call 888-LAW-9600 for your free consultation. If you've been seriously injured in an accident or a victim of medical malpractice, you may be entitled to a large cash award. Find out your legal rights by calling the law offices of David Pankin for a free legal consultation.
I'm David Pankin. For over 15 years, my firm has been helping clients just like you get the compensation they deserve.
If there is no recovery, there is no fee. Don't trust your case to just anyone. Call 888-LAW-9600. That's 888-LAW-9600.
Mariano Rivera is not yet an old-timer. He will be one day. Some might call him that. His main thought right now, getting well, getting rehabbed, and getting ready to pitch next season for the Yankees. As we welcome you back to Yankee Stadium and our Old Timers Day coverage brought to you by Tri-State Ford. It is the 66th Old Timers Day here at Yankee Stadium. Now, I talked about anticipation in the previous segment. One of the most highly anticipated moments of Old Timers Day is the introduction of Yogi Berra. He's not only a Yankees icon, but an American icon, a 10-time world champion for the Yankees and 3-time MVP. He also celebrated birthday number 87 this year. Let's take a closer look at Yogi Berra with Chris Shear.
Yogi Berra is considered the greatest living Yankee. With 14 World Series appearances and 10 championships, he has become synonymous with winning. As the anchor of the Yankees' early dynasty, the catcher has taken part in some of the more iconic moments in baseball history, including Jackie Robinson's steal of home and, of course, Don Larson's perfect game. The image of Berra leaping into Larson's arms after the final out is one that has been seen by baseball fans the world over. Despite all his success in the game of baseball, one of Yogi's prouder moments came in the Navy. As a gunner's mate, he took part in the D-Day invasion. His time spent in the Navy briefly put his baseball career on hold. Yogi's baseball life continued after his playing days were done. As their manager, Yogi helped the Yankees reach the 1964 World Series. In 1973, with the crosstown Mets, he led the upstart Metropolitans to a surprising World Series appearance, earning a National League pennant. Berra joined the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1972. Since then, the affable Yogi has become an ambassador for the game. With his personality and famous quotes, Berra can be seen everywhere from commercials to Old Timers Day ceremonies. Despite all his fame since his retirement, Yogi Berra will always look best in Yankee pinstripes.
Well, a great shot right there of Yogi Berra, and you can see all that he accomplished in his career. I mentioned the 10 World Series title. He went to 14 World Series. He was a 3-time MVP. He's a Yankees hero. He's an American hero after serving in World War II as a gunner's mate off the coast of Normandy on D-Day. And Jack, it's interesting because some younger fans might not connect with certain older Yankees, but I think everybody young and old connects with Yogi Berra.
Everyone connects with Yogi Berra. He's in the building now. We know he's going to get a big ovation when he finally is introduced. But you're right, Bob. I think about spring training, and I see the vibe change in Tampa when they find out that, oh, Yogi's coming today. You see players like Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, Jorge Posada when he was still playing. They were very excited to see Yogi show up. It was as if their grandfather was showing up. They wanted to make sure they were on their best behavior. He has a great relationship with Jeter. And I look at those 10 World Series, and I look at the fact that he hit over 300 career home runs, and I see how slight he is. Just 5'7", unbelievable the kind of career he had.
Well, here's some good news. He'll be putting on the polyester pinstripes, not the old wool pinstripes that he wore back in the day, because it is certainly hot here this afternoon. And we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to hear from our Yes colleague and, of course, the former Yankee great, Lou Piniella. That's coming up after this.
Everything looks good in pinstripes. So can you with the Yankees Edition Ford Escape.
The Yankees Edition Escape. Register at your local Tri-State Ford dealer or Yankees.com/Ford, and you could drive one home from the game on July 17th. Get your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Why not make lunch more than just lunch? With 2 times the points on dining in restaurants, you may find yourself asking, why not? A lot. J Sapphire Preferred.
Enter for your chance to win at home with AT&T and the Yankees. Text Yanks to 4663 from your AT&T wireless phone or visit Yankees.com/win at home for more ways to enter.
There it goes. See ya.
You could win tickets to a 2012 New York Yankees home game, or AT&T could pinstripe your place with Yankees merchandise and more. Don't miss out. Text Yanks to 4663 now.
Celebrate Independence Day at your GMC dealer, and now's the time to see our smaller SUV with an EPA S32 highway miles per gallon standard, or the first ever Acadia Denali, our newest 8-passenger crossover. This Independence Day, isn't it time for a new grille? Celebrate Independence Day and lease this 2012 GMC Terrain for around $239 per month.
One big part of Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium is reconnecting with family. And the wives of former Yankee greats are family as well, including Kay Mercer, the wife of our former Yes Network colleague and Yankee great Bobby Mercer, and of course, Diana Munson, the widow of Thurman Munson. And of course, a former Yankee who knows those players very well is Lou Piniella, who enjoyed his first year back at Yankee Stadium as part of the Old Timers Day festivities last year. He's in attendance again this year, and our Jack Curry caught up with him.
Lou, another Old Timers Day. When you show up at Yankee Stadium for Old Timers Day, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's special. A lot of great memories, times I was here. It's really enjoyable for me to see my ex-teammates. Last night we had a cruise, and we had some wine and talked about the old stories. And then coming today and putting on the uniform, it's a special place. What can I say?
When you talk to those old teammates and you talk about those 1970s, late 70s Yankee teams, what do you guys talk about? What are your recollections of those teams?
Well, we talk about the fun we had playing. It wasn't they weren't teams that basically, well, you saw Sparky Lau's book, the Bronx Zoo. So it was a little dysfunctional at times, but the end results were good. We won world championships. You know, what's really a little sad in that a lot of the guys that played on those teams that were very, very good friends are no longer with us. But yeah, I saw Diane Munson and Kay Mercer and Helen Hunter. It's always great to come here.
And you mentioned how those teams were known for maybe getting into an argument or two and brawling a little bit, 2 or 3. Did those teams prove that chemistry, it happens if you win, and whatever happens off the field, you guys were worried about winning?
That's exactly right. And we had great chemistry on the field, and that's more important than chemistry anywhere else. So when the umpire said play ball, the music played. And we danced to the step. But look, we had nice talent, and we had a lot of injuries to overcome, and the 78 team was probably my favorite team that I ever played on, only because everybody counted us out at the All-Star break, 14.5 games out, and we came back and beat a very, very good Boston team and then repeated as world champions.
I know you've talked on the air a couple times about
last Old Timers Day, Jeff Nelson, he didn't let you breathe at all. He was coming in with some hard stuff, huh?
I tried to hit him with glasses, and then I took my glasses off, and I finally told him, I said, look, I know you were with me in Seattle. I didn't trade you here to the Yankees. But he did. He jammed me. And I hit a ground ball to shortstop. And I'm going to tell you the amazing thing. Now, I hadn't had an at-bat, I can't remember. But the competitive nature, I was upset for 2 or 3 days. And if there'd been a water cooler or something in there, I might have kicked it.
I don't want to give your strategy away, but what's your approach today? If you get up there and you get a swing, I mean, you're going to back off the plate a little bit? What are you going to do?
Well, my bat's not too quick. So I need some room. And what I've got to do is, if I do go up there, is find somebody my age or a little older that I can hit against, because some of these guys, they powder river the ball in there a little bit. And you know, my golf game's getting better, and I don't need any, what do you call it, blisters or
no calluses, no blisters?
Calluses and so forth, yeah.
Lou, we look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Might want to let him know that Willie Randolph was grooving those fastballs for Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams. Well, you talk about the Super 70s that Lou was a part of, Jack, and you look at it started with George Steinbrenner buying the team, and then some of the key player acquisitions that led to the 2 World Series titles.
Yeah, absolutely. Pinella, of course, in 77 he hit 330, in 78 he hit 314. And look at some of those players that joined in the period of time that we're talking about. George Steinbrenner going out and putting a star-studded club on the field. And what I liked about talking to Lou, Bob, is that he referred to the team as dysfunctional. And he said, oh yeah, you see that book Sparky Lyle wrote? Those guys had fun, but again, what he said, once they got on the field, they figured out a way to win. And with the wild card now, and I like the wild card, you will never have a team like that 1978 Yankees team. There will never be a team that has to climb back from the deficit that team had to climb back from.
All right, Lou Piniella, just one of many members back for Old Timers Day. Jack and I will take another break, but we will continue here from Yankee Stadium. It is the 66th annual Old Timers Day, and before the game is played, a great chance for folks to catch up.
There's no such thing as an extra value bus or an extra value train or an extra value plane, and no one uses their extra value cell while reading their extra value paper. Has anyone claimed to pay extra value rent at their extra value apartment while watching extra value cable? Not in our day. That's why McDonald's created the extra value menu. It's the taste you love, priced for you. And right now, get the McDonald's triple cheeseburger for $2. The simple joy of paying less and tasting more.
Let's say you need one of these, or one of these.
Now is the time to buy during the July 4th sale at PC Richard & Son.
Get the largest selection of appliances at the guaranteed lowest prices.
Up to 20% off, with up to 18 months financing.
Plus, you get all of them. That's our delivery and installation team.
And they make sure your new appliances are up and running perfectly.
Right now, get up to $200 in installation rebates on select Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Maytag refrigerators.
Nobody beats PC Richard & Son.
I really should have followed the GPS.
I'll just ask this guy. Excuse me, sir. You know where casinos?
The Infiniti G Sedan, because luxury should inspire confidence.
It's not from around here.
No matter what road you take. Lease an Infiniti G Sedan for $289 a month or receive 1.9% APR financing. Infiniti, inspired performance.
With nearly 1 million winners a day, there's a little bit of luck for everyone.
Now, I wonder if this is catching up with each other or talking strategy. David Cohn, who gave up a home run to Tino Martinez last year, talking to Willie Randolph. We saw Willie tossing BP earlier to Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams. And then there's Darryl Strawberry, one of the icons of the championship teams of the late 90s. He got a huge ovation when he took the field as well here today. Good to have you back once again on our coverage of Old Timers Day, brought to you by your Tri-State Ford dealer. Now, mentioned previous segment that it was Lou Piniella's first year back last year. Same story for Joe Torre. After managing the Dodgers, he was able to come back last year in 2011. And a short time ago, Jack Curry had the chance to talk to Torre.
Joe, another Old Timers Day. You've experienced a lot of these. When you come to Old Timers Day, what are the first few things you look forward to?
My contemporaries. And you know the scary part, Jack, is the fact that a lot of these guys that are going to be walking through this door played for me, which you talk about feeling old. That's when you feel old.
And when you look around the locker room or the clubhouse and you see Yogi Berra and you see Whitey Ford, Rich Gossage, Ricky Henderson, I'm sure I'm leaving a few guys out. Reggie Jackson, I can't leave him out.
Please don't.
When you see everybody like that in their pinstripe uniforms, it really is something the Yankees can do that no other organization can.
Nobody does it like the Yankees. I remember as a player going to Fort Lauderdale to play the Yankees, and spring training, you saw Whitey Ford, you saw Mickey Mantle. It always set the Yankees apart. And when I came to this organization, I really look forward to this day as a manager, because there they were. And as you said, nobody does it like the Yankees, and they continue to take a lot of pride in how they do it.
You mentioned some of the guys who will be playing that played for you, the David Cohns, the Paul O'Neills, the Tino Martinez's. When you see those guys, do you instantly go back to when you managed them? What kind of conversations do you have?
Well, I saw on the cruise last night, I saw David Cohn. I said thank you for '98, because he's the one that had that meeting in Seattle that sort of got everybody's attention. And pitching Game 3 of the '96 World Series, because I'm not too sure George would have been patient with me if we don't win that first year. So David Cohn was a guy you trusted, and he certainly never let you down.
And how about on the field and getting that ovation? I don't care who you are, but when someone is able to have 50,000 people cheering for them, that must be an unbelievable feeling.
Well, once you're a Yankee, you're always a Yankee. And, I know I went to the Dodgers, which had really no animosity toward the Yankees. It was just time to move on. But Yogi Berra told me a long time ago, he says, when you get out on that first base line, especially during the World Series, it's something you'll never forget. And it continues to be very special.
Now, I know in your role with MLB right now, you're going to be a manager again. You're going to manage in the World Baseball Classic. How much are you looking forward to that opportunity?
I'm really looking forward to it. It's exciting. I was very privileged that they asked me. And, I'm just sort of putting in my mind right now, because hopefully by the end of July, I'll have a staff put together. I've made some phone calls, and I've had people very, very much engaged in wanting to do this. So I'm excited about it, and I know on the other side of the coin, Jack, when I was a manager, I didn't want my players taken away from me. So I understand that, and the thing I have to make sure that I follow through with is having these managers and general managers trust that I'll take care of their players.
Absolutely, Joe. Thank you for the time.
Anytime, Jack.
And you take a look at what Joe Torre accomplished in 12 seasons as a manager, 4 World Series title, and American League Manager of the Year twice. And I mentioned today is a day to reconnect, Jack. It's also a day for managers to reconnect with other managers.
Once a manager, always a manager, right? He's retired from being a major league manager, but he will manage in the WBC. And what did he do the first thing when he got here this morning? He visited with Robin Ventura, the White Sox manager, and he visited with Joe Girardi, the Yankees manager. 2 guys that he had managed, so staying in that fraternity, he wanted to check in with both of those guys.
And again, while you were busy doing the interviews earlier down in the underneath here in Yankee Stadium in the concourses, you saw again in the clubhouses a lot of people getting ready, a lot of people in anticipation of, again, not just seeing familiar faces, but playing a ball game.
Playing a ball game, and the excitement is there. And you see an O'Neill, you see a Bernie Williams. These guys, in some respects, some regards, look like they could still play. So we'll see who goes out there today and give these fans who are filing in a little jolt of excitement.
Did you want to make any kind of prediction on a home run, let's say?
I think Tino Martinez is going to go back-to-back.
That's interesting. It'll probably be David Cohn on the mound. I have the feeling if Cohn pitches, he's going to be grooving one to somebody.
I think Cohn's going to figure out a way to give Tino that perfect fastball.
All right, so we are all set here for the 66th Old Timers game on Yes. We appreciate you being with us on our coverage. Now to the voice of the late, great Bob Shepard.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Old Timers Day. Please direct your attention now to the microphone behind home plate and join the Yankees in welcoming our 2 MCs. WCBS radio announcer John Sterling and Yes Network broadcaster Michael Kay.
Hi, thank you. Once again, everyone, welcome to the 66th Annual Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium. Boy, it's tough to believe this is the 66th year that the Yankees have been honoring their greats. They're the only team in baseball to honor their former players in such a way, and it's a reason that I look forward to this day every single year. Today, we hope to conjure up some of the great Yankee memories when we welcome home world champions, all-stars, Yankee captains, and even a few Hall of Famers.
Now, let's just think about how glorious the history of the Yankees happens to be. The Yankees have been to the World Series an amazing 40 times, and they've won the Fall Classic 27 times. That's more championships than any other team in the history of professional sports. These Yankees who are here today are the reasons why the Yankees are so successful and why the Yankee pinstripes and the interlocking NY are the most recognizable sports logos in the world. We're so excited to have them back with us today, so let's start the festivities, everybody.
Now we meet our old timers. Our first guest was used to being first. He was the first overall pick in the 1967 amateur draft, and on April 6, 1973, he became the first ever designated hitter in Major League history. He would spend 6 full seasons with the Yanks, hitting over 300 and driving in over 200 runs wearing the pinstripes. Welcome back, the Boomer. It's Ronnie Bloomer.
This native of Brooklyn has been with the Yankees in just about every capacity. He was a Yankee during the 1982 season. He later became a manager in the minor league system from 1997 through 1999. And he was the Yankees' first base coach on the 2000 World Championship team. Let's welcome Lee Mazzilli.
This slick fielding second baseman spent 7 seasons in pinstripes, and his defense up the middle was outstanding. He was a type of player that did all the little things. In 1993, he led the team in stolen bases. In 1994, he led the league in sacrifices. In 1995, on a Friday night in Toronto, he hit a home run that helped the Yankees win the wild card. Say hello to Pat Kelly.
This next guest was acquired during the 1989 season from the Toronto Blue Jays. During his 4 seasons in pinstripes, he was a dangerous bat in the lineup as he led the team in home runs in 1990. And boy, did he have a rifle for an arm. He had 45 outfield assists while playing in the Bronx. Let's welcome back Jesse Barfield.
This player had 2 tours in pinstripes, playing for the Yanks in 1997 and 1998, and then coming back to the team during the 2004 season. A fan favorite, he always seemed to provide a spark off the bench with his speed. He also batted .348 during his time in the Bronx. Please welcome back Homer Bush.
We now welcome back a pitcher who was a key contributor to the Yankees winning the American League East in 2005. He was called up from the minors in the middle of the season, and all he did was win 10 games. Oh yeah, he didn't lose a single game either. We're very happy to have him back with us today. Let's hear it for Aaron Small.
Well, here's a guy who had 2 stints in the Bronx in the late 70s and early 80s and was a part of the 1976 and 1981 American League Championship teams. In the 1981 Divisional Series, he hit .600 with 2 home runs and 2 doubles as he helped propel the Yankees to the American League Championship Series. In all, he hit .302 in his 6 postseason series he appeared in for the Yanks. His stroke was perfect for Yankee Stadium, and he had one of the greatest hairdos in baseball history. Here he is, Oscar Gamble.
This player is back for his very first Old Timers Day. He was drafted by the Yankees in the 9th round of the 1989 amateur draft, and he knew in September 1992 by pitching 6 innings of 1-run ball. In 1995, he was 3rd on the team in victories, helping to lead the Yankees back to the postseason for the first time in 14 years. He would spend 7 seasons wearing the pinstripes. Welcome back for the first time, Sterling Hitchcock.
Here's another first-time old-timer. He came over to the Yankees in June of 1990 from the Detroit Tigers and solidified the Yankees behind the plate for 5 seasons. His left-handed swing was perfect for Yankee Stadium. In 1991, he led the Yankees in home runs, and in 1992, he was 2nd on the team in homers. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Noakes.
This tall left-hander was a key member of the Yankees bullpen on the 1996 and 1998 championship teams. He pitched in 109 games during his 3 seasons in the Bronx. He appeared in 13 postseason games with the Yanks and never gave up a single run, including a very important scoreless inning in Game 4 of the 1996 World Series, where he was the winning pitcher in that one. Let's welcome back the big Australian, Graham Lloyd.
Now this great slugger came over to the Yankees in a trade deadline deal in 1996 from the Tigers. In the last 2 months of the season, he would hit 13 home runs for the Bombers and help lead them to their first divisional title since 1981. In the American League Division Series and the American League Championship Series, he combined to hit 3 home runs and drive in 12 runs to help propel the Yankees back to the World Series. In the 1996 series, he batted .391, and he drove in the only run in the pivotal 1-0 victory in Game 5. Say hello to Big Daddy, Cecil Fielder.
He played 3rd base for the Yankees in 1992, but they lost him in the 1992 expansion draft to the Colorado Rockies. They reacquired him in August of 1996, just in time to get him on the postseason roster. In Game 2 of the 1996 Division Series, he dropped down a bunt that the Rangers threw away, allowing the winning run to score. Then in Game 6 of the World Series, he clutched the final out that began a wild celebration in the Bronx as the Yankees captured their first World Championship in 18 seasons. Let's hear it for Charlie Hayes.
Here's another Old Timers Day rookie. He came over in a trade with the Dodgers in May 2004 and helped shore up the Yankee pitching staff as he could both start and come out of the bullpen. After the trade, he would win 4 games out of the bullpen for the Yanks and 6 overall. In 2005, he would appear in 64 games with 5 victories in relief. Say hello to Stanton Sturtz.
This next Yankee spent 5 seasons with the Bombers and helped them win 3 World Championships. On August 6, 1996, he had a 3-home run game against the Chicago White Sox, and later that year, he helped the Yankees reach the World Series for the first time in 15 years by hitting .417 with 3 home runs against the Orioles in the ALCS. Always a fan favorite. Let's welcome back the straw man, Darryl Strawberry.
Now, we're welcoming back someone for the first time who's been in the Yankee organization since 1978. He spent 21 seasons managing in the Yankees minor league system, helping get the players ready for the big leagues. In addition, he managed the Yanks in 1990 and 1991. The last Yankee dynasty would not have been possible if he hadn't taught the players the right way to play before they made it to the Bronx. He's still part of the organization as a special assistant to the general manager. Ladies and gentlemen, Stump Merrill.
This left-hander won 288 games during a long 26-year Major League career. He was a 4-time All-Star, and during his 8 seasons with the Yankees, he won over 60% of his games. His name is now synonymous with the elbow reconstructive surgery that he had over 30 years ago. Please welcome TJ Tommy John.
This 3-time All-Star was traded to the Yankees from the Chicago White Sox at the very beginning of the 1977 season. He'd be the starting shortstop for the next 6 seasons. The Yankees' rich history is full of memorable home runs. But on October 2nd, 1978, he hit one of the biggest home runs in Yankees history. His 3-run home run over the Green Monster at Fenway Park etched his name in Yankee lore forever, as it helped give the Yankees the Eastern Division title. He would then go on to hit .417 in the 1978 World Series, en route to becoming the World Series MVP. How about a big hand for Bucky Dent?
Our next guest spent 3 seasons as a Bronx Bomber from 1978 to 1980. Who could forget the 1978 series when he had 3 hits in both Games 5 and the deciding Game 6. He would bat .438 with 7 hits and 2 ribbies for the World Series. Say hello to Brian Doyle.
The Yankees were happy to have this fella become a key member of World Championship teams, as he was a 2-time All-Star while in the Bronx, and in 1998 he led the American League with 20 wins. His 6 years in the Pinstripes were full of huge moments, as he was 6-1 in the postseason. Everyone remembers the comeback in Game 4 of the '96 World Series, but it was his gutsy performance in Game 3 that got the Yankees back in the series. On a steamy July afternoon like this, in 1999, he would forever etch his name in Yankees lore when he would pitch the 3rd perfect game in Yankees history. Let's have a warm welcome for Coney, David Cone.
was a young 20-year-old when the Yankees called him up to the big leagues in 1961. In 1963, he led the American League with the most strikeouts per 9 innings and fewest hits allowed per 9 innings. His 217 strikeouts in 1964 were tops in the American League. In 9 seasons with the Yankees, he pitched in 2 World Series and made the 1967 All-Star. How about a hand for Al Downing?
This next guy was known for his speed. In fact, he's probably the fastest man ever to play for the Yanks. In 1976, he was selected to the All-Star team as he led the Yanks in stolen bases, also led them with a .312 batting average. During the 1977 championship, he stole a team-high 22 bases while hitting 12 home runs, driving in 69 runs, and once again leading the Yankees in hitting with a .326 batting average. In the deciding Game 5 of the American League Championship Series, he came to the plate in the top of the 9th with 2 runners on and the Yankees trailing 3-2. His base hit tied the score, and he eventually crossed the plate with the game's final run as the Yankees advanced to the World Series. He also led the Yankees' attack in Game 3 of the World Series with 3 hits and was the center fielder for the 1978 championship team. Please welcome Mick the Quick Mickey Rivers.
This left fielder spent his entire 15-year career playing left field in Yankee Stadium, and he ranked 7th in team history for games played with the Yankees. During this period, he was one of the American League's best switch hitters. He was a member of the 1977 and 1978 World Championship teams and made the All-Star team twice. He was a durable player, as twice he played all 162 games of the season. And in 1973, he led the American League in plate appearances and at-bats. A soft-spoken, dignified leader. A new era in terms of old reliable. Here he is, Roy White.
Our next member of the Yankee family was the ace of the pitching staff for 11 seasons and was named to the American League All-Star team 5 times. He was called up in late 1964 and immediately made an impact, going 9-3 and helping the Yankees win the American League pennant. He led Yankee pitchers in wins in 7 out of his 11 big league seasons. In 1965, he led the American League with 18 complete games and 291 innings pitched. In 1969, he once again led the American League with 24 complete games as he pitched 303 innings. He would win 164 games in his 11-year career. He rejoined the Yankees as the pitching coach prior to the 1996 season, and from the bench, he helped guide the pitching staff to 4 World Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, Mel Stottlemyre.
This left-hander spent his entire 14-year career as a Yankee from 1975 to 1988. He tied for the team lead in 16 victories in 1977 while winning 2 games in the postseason, including a 4-hitter in Game 4 of the World Series. In 1978, he had one of the greatest seasons in the history of Major League Baseball, when he would win the Cy Young Award with a 25-3 record and a minuscule 1.74 ERA. He also holds the franchise record for strikeouts in a single game with 18 versus the Angels on June 17, 1978. He twice led the league in wins and twice in earned run average. He is 3rd on the Yankees' all-time strikeout list and in the top 10 of almost every franchise pitching category. Ladies and gentlemen, Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry.
Stadium a few times each year after his playing days were done. He was a fan favorite during his 11 years playing for the Yanks. He was a part of 4 American League pennant winners and the 1977 and 78 World Championship teams, hitting over 300 in both World Championships. After retiring midway through the 84 season, he was named the team's hitting coach for the remainder of the 84 season and the entire 1985 season. He was named Yankee manager prior to the 1986 season and managed them for 2 years before going upstairs for a brief stint as Yankees general manager before returning to the bench midway in the 1988 season. He would go on to manage another 20 years in the majors, but today he's back in pinstripes. You know him. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Sweet Lou Piniella.
We now have another key member of the 1977 and 1978 World Championship teams. He came over from the Pirates prior to the 1976 season, and all he did was become one of the greatest second basemen in the history of the Yankees, as he gave steady play and solid offense at the position for the next 13 seasons. In Game 1 of the 1977 World Series, his home run tied the game, and later he would score the winning run. He appeared in 5 All-Star games while wearing pinstripes and is 3rd on the Yankees' all-time stolen base list. Always a huge fan favorite. Here he is, Willie Randolph.
This catcher was traded to the Yankees before the 1996 season and was an integral part in the last Yankee dynasty with his defense behind the plate and his leadership on and off the field. He played 4 seasons with the Yanks, winning 3 World Championships and catching 1 perfect game. Who can ever forget him motoring around the bases with his 3rd inning triple in Game 6 of the 1996 World Series, giving the Yankees a lead they would never relinquish as they won their first World Series in 18 years. He went from the Yankees on-field leader to becoming their leader in the dugout, and in 2009, he led them to their 27th World Championship. Here he is, the manager of the Yankees, Joe Girardi. And we also want to take a moment to recognize Joe's counterpart in the visitors' dugout. He came over in an intra-city trade with the Mets prior to the 2002 season and would play a season and a half for the Yanks at the hot corner. In 2002, he was named to the American League All-Star team when he hit 27 home runs and drove in 93 runs. From the first base dugout, let's have a warm welcome to Robin Ventura.
This first baseman torched the Yankees in the 1995 Divisional Series, so they decided to bring him over prior to the 1996 season. Pretty smart move. He would become one of the Yankees' leaders for the next 6 years and help lead them to 4 Worlds. Not only did he play flawless defense every night, he produced 2 of the biggest home runs in World Series history. First in 1998, his grand slam in the 7th inning of Game 1 gave the Yankees a lead they would never relinquish, that they swept the Padres. Then, no one will ever forget the way he made the stadium rock with his dramatic home run with 2 outs in the 9th inning of Game 4 of the 2001 World Series. Let's hear it for Constantino Martinez.
Now we welcome back a player who came up to the Yankees in 1991 and would play his entire 16-year career for the Yanks. He falls onto the list of great center fielders in Yankees history, like DiMaggio and Mantle. He ranks in the top 10 in Yankees history in most offensive categories. A 5-time All-Star, 4-time Gold Glove winner, and the 1996 ALCS MVP. He led the American League in hitting in 1998. His 2 walk-off home runs at Yankee Stadium during the 96 and 99 American League Championship Series helped lead the Yankees to 4 World Championships. And he holds the record for most career RBIs in postseason play and is second in career home runs. Here he is, Burn, baby, burn, Bernie Williams.
This old-timer came over to the Yankees via trade in December of 1992, and many say this trade helped lay the groundwork for the latest Yankees dynasty. He would spend 9 seasons patrolling right field here at the stadium. During those 9 seasons, he would appear in 4 All-Star games, hit over 306 times, and led the American League in hitting in 1994. One of the fiercest competitors Yankee fans have ever seen, he was a key member of 4 World Championship teams as he played 100% on every play. In Game 5 of the 1996 World Series, with an injured leg, he ran down a deep fly ball for the final out of a 1-0 Yankees victory that brought the Yankees back to New York with the chance to close it out. Currently, he is one of my broadcast partners on the YES Network. He is the Warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul O'Neill.
What up there, Big Bernie? Bernie, this place is a little bigger than that other place.
This next guest was named manager of the Yankees prior to the 1996 season, and all he did in his first year was to guide the Bronx Bombers to their first World Series title in 18 years. He would go on to manage the Yankees for 12 seasons. He's second in franchise history with 1,173 wins, and for his career, he's 5th on baseball's all-time list of winning manager. He's one of only 2 managers to lead their teams to 3 consecutive World Championships. And in 1998, he led them to a Major League record of 125 wins as they won the first of those 3 consecutive championships. In all, during his 12 years in the Bronx, he led the Yankees to 6 American League pennants and 4 World Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, one of New York's own, Joe Torre.
Working on this.
We have a very special first-time returnee. On Old Timers Day, we always bring back your favorite players as well as managers and coaches. But today we have a first. This guest was as synonymous with the Yankees over the last 50 years as anyone in the entire organization. He started with the Yankees as a bat boy and clubhouse attendant in 1962 before joining the training staff in 1973. He would spend 39 seasons on the training staff before retiring at the end of last season. He was responsible for fixing the injuries of almost everyone on the field today, and he was the trainer for 7 World Championship teams. A big welcome for Gene Monahan.
This next old-timer was a great college football player at Ole Miss before spending his entire 10-year Major League career as a Yankees catcher from 1962 through 1971. He then rejoined his alma mater as baseball coach when his playing days were over. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back Jake Gibbs.
This Brooklyn native is one of the more charismatic individuals in the game of baseball. He was the Bronx Bombers' first baseman from 1962 to 1969 and led the Yankees in RBIs 3 times and won 3 Gold Glove awards. On May 23, 1962, in just the 17th game of his young career, he hit 2 home runs in the same inning, becoming just the second Yankee in history to accomplish that feat. He would go on to play in 2 fall classics, and in Game 6 of the 1964 series, he cracked a grand slam to lead the Yankees to an 8-3 win over the Cardinals. Let's have a nice warm welcome for Joe Pepito.
When this next Yankee came over in a tree from Kansas City in 1959, he'd been a second and third baseman. He soon was converted to an outfielder and played there from 1959 through 1966. He played in 5 World Series, and in the 1961 World Series, he drove in 7 runs and batted .333 as the Yankees swept the Reds. He helped give the Yankees tremendous depth in the outfield. Let's welcome back Hector Lopez.
I got to hump him down here. That's all right.
He was one of the greatest fielding second basemen in the history of baseball. He spent his entire 12-year career in the Bronx and was a 5-time Gold Glove Award winner, an 8-time All-Star, and a 3-time World Champion. He was the 1960 World Series Most Valuable Player, and all he did the following year was hit .391 in the World Series to help the Yankees defeat the Reds. Here he is, Bobby Richardson.
This right-handed pitcher came up with the Yanks in 1956 before being traded away in 1957 and then reacquired in 1959. He would appear in 4 World Series with the Yanks and would pitch on 2 World Championship teams. After going 16-3 in 1961, he would follow it up with his best season in pinstripes in 1962. That year, he was named to both All-Star games, led the league with 23 wins, and was named the 1962 World Series MVP after pitching 2 complete games, including a 4-hit complete game shutout in the Yankees' 1-0 victory in Game 7. Welcome back with a nice warm welcome for Ralph Terry.
This right-handed pitcher came to the Yankees in a trade from the Baltimore Orioles in 1954 and played with the Bombers until 1962. He pitched in 2 All-Star games, 5 Fall Classics, and won 4 games in World Series play with the Yanks. In 1957, he had the most strikeouts per 9 innings in the league. He led American League pitchers in complete games and wins in 1958 en route to both the Cy Young Award and World Series MVP honors. Here he is, Bullet Bob Turley.
This next player spent 8 seasons in the Bronx in the 40s and 50s. He was a fixture at third base from 1949 to 1951, but had his career interrupted to serve in the military. He was an excellent player under pressure. He hit .439 in his 4 World Series appearances. After retiring, he became a successful cardiologist and then spent over 10 years as president of the American League. Welcome back, Dr. Bobby Brown.
This next old-timer spent 4 seasons in the Yankees bullpen and compiled a 22-10 record. His best season was 1961 when he went 15-5 with a 2.19 ERA and led the American League with 29 saves as he earned a spot on the American League All-Star team. Let's have a nice warm hand for Luis Arroyo.
This next old-timer spent 5 years as a Yankee and pitched in 4 fall classics. In World Series play, he won 3 games and had a 2.67 ERA. On October 8, 1956, he turned in one of the greatest pitching performances in the history of the game as he pitched a perfect game in Game 5 of the World Series over the Brooklyn Dodgers. Still, the only perfect game ever pitched in the World Series. Ladies and gentlemen, Don Larson.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we've come to a very special part of our program. The New York Yankees have a proud history of Hall of Famers, and we're pleased to have 6 of them here with us today. At this time, we ask you to please direct your attention to the center field wall as we welcome them to Yankee Stadium. Our next honoree was the Yankees second baseman from 1949 to 1957. He was a key member of 4 World Championship teams, including the 1950 team. In 1950, he had an all-star season and would go on to be named the 1950 World Series Most Valuable Player in the Yankees 4-game sweep. Believe it or not, his baseball career was interrupted twice so that he could serve as a Marine pilot during both World War II and the Korean War, making him the only Major League player to see active combat duty in 2 wars. He is now in his 40th season as the radio voice of the San Diego Padres. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame as the 2005 recipient of the Ford C. Frick Award. Let's welcome back Jerry Coleman.
Now it's time to welcome back the greatest leadoff hitter of all time to Old Timers Day. If he wasn't leading off the game with a home run, he was getting on and using his speed. He's second on the Yankees' all-time stolen base list, leading the league 3 times while playing for the Yankees. In 1985, he also led the American League in runs scored and hit 24 home runs. Combine that with his 80 stolen bases, that year he became the first player in Major League history to steal 80 bases and hit 20 home runs in the same season. He holds the Major League record for most career stolen bases, most career runs scored. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2009. Say hello to Ricky Henderson.
This next Yankee was one of the most intimidating and overpowering relievers of the late 70s and early 80s. He had an explosive fastball that ranged between 90 and 100 miles per hour. He's third on the Yankees' all-time saves list with 151, twice leading the league in saves while playing for the Yankees, including the 1978 championship season. He was named to 4 All-Star teams during his time in pinstripes. He had a career ERA with the Yankees of 2.14. and most of his saves were from multiple innings. In 2008, he was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Let's say hello to the Goose, Rich Gossett.
Next is a resident of Cooperstown who thrived when it meant the most. He was at his best in October, and in his 5 years with the Yankees, he hit 144 home runs while being named to the All-Star team each season. He led the team to 4 divisional titles, 3 AL pennants, and 2 world championships. During his career, he had 357 during World Series play. But who could ever forget Game 6 of the 1977 World Series when he smashed 3 home runs in consecutive at-bats en route to being named World Series MVP. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1993. Please welcome back Mr. October, Reggie Jackson.
Fans, we now ask that you turn your attention one more time to the center field wall as we welcome our final 2 old-timers to Yankee Stadium. 2 of the most distinguished players in not only Yankees history, but Major League Baseball history. They are truly living legends.
Well, the first of these living legends made his Major League debut on July 1st, 1950. He would win 9 of his 10 decisions that year, and he would finish second in the Rookie of the Year voting. He won the clinching Game 4 of the 1950 World Series, giving up 2 unearned runs over 8 and 2/3 innings. He would go on to lead the American League in wins 3 times and appear in 10 All-Star games. Not only is he one of the greatest pitchers of all time, he's probably the greatest Yankee pitcher ever. He was a 1961 Cy Young Award winner. He had a lifetime record of 236 and 106. It gives him the highest winning percentage of any pitcher in the 20th century. He holds the World Series record for wins, consecutive scoreless innings, and strikeouts as he helped the Yankees win 6 World Series titles in all. He's from Astoria, Queens. He's one of our own, Edward Charles Whitey Ford.
Ladies and gentlemen, no All-Timers Day would be complete without our final honored guest. He was a Yankee player from 1946 to 1963. He was selected to the American League All-Star team in every season from 1948 to 1962. With 14 appearances in the Fall Classic, he has played in more World Series than anyone in history. He's in the top 10 in most Yankees batting categories, is a 3-time most valuable player. He was the catcher for Don Larson's World Series perfect game, and his 10 World Series championships are the most in baseball history. By now, you know who he is. Number 8, Lawrence Peter Yogi Berra.
Yogi and Whitey. Pretty good combination. Now, we have some very special guests I'd like to introduce. And they say behind every good man is a great woman. Well, here are a few women that were behind some of the greatest names in Yankee history, and they're joining us today. Please welcome Mrs. Arlene Howard, Mrs. Helen Hunter, Mrs. Jill Martin, Mrs. Diana Munson, and Mrs. Kay Mercer.
Fans, let's have a round of applause for this assemblage of Hall of Famers, world champions, all-stars, and most of all, New York Yankees. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise? Let us now spend a moment in silent prayer as we remember those members of the Yankees family who've been lost since last Old Timers Day. John Sonny Dixon, Andy Carey, Nilson Matos, Spud Murray, Joseph Bruno, Mel Southern, Sarah Brown, Rich Stanka, Christopher Bebop Robinson, Thad Tillotson Jr., Rhoda Bernstein, Georgina Cotone, Barbara Taylor, Eddie Brockman, Dorothy Consiglio, Dom Valentino, Rosario Bartolotta, Allie Clark, Johnny Schmitz, Marie Brock, Rose Polino, Dominic Pulara, Irene Fox, Betty Jo Colvard, Adrene Davis, Clara Oyola Cervantes, Joseph Montemarano, Marcia Landris, Frederick Bielefeld, Fred Carlisle, Marcia Urovetsky, Morton Urovetsky, Ross Yanko, Constantino Gonzalez, Raheem Karimka, Aileen Clifford, Victor Rosa Garcia Valasilos, Dick Williams, Hideki Arabu, and Bill Moose Scourin.
Thank you, and please remain standing. Robert Merrill was a mainstay on Old Timers Day when he would sing either our national anthem or America the Beautiful. Now, the Yankees would like to pay tribute to number 1.5 with his rendition of our national anthem.
Bob Lorenz back with you. So many former Yankee greats like Yogi Berra and Whitey Ford here in attendance today, nearly 50 of them. We'll take a break here on Yes, and when we come back, Michael Kay, Jack Curry, Meredith Barakovitz will have more on today's 66th Old Timers Day celebration.
Everything looks good in pinstripes. So can you with the Yankees Edition Ford Escape.
The Yankees Edition Escape. Register at your local Tri-State Ford dealer or Yankees.com/Ford, and you could drive one home from the game on July 17th. Get your Tri-State Ford dealer.
What happened? Somebody ripped my head off.
Let's tape it back together.
This tape looks lousy. Hey, WB, can you help me fix my picture?
Sure, with a little bit of magic. Scotch brand magic tape. It disappears when you put it on.
Wow.
Not like that cheap store brand tape.
It is magic. Now you're cute. Now you can shop at home.
Let's see, oil change, new wiper blade inserts. You're all set.
Great, how much?
It's no cost.
No cost. I am so flattered. But I'm actually married.
No. It's our policy, no cost maintenance.
Oh, okay.
It's okay, it happens all the time.
Really?
No.
BMW Ultimate Service. Pay for nothing but gas and tires. Really, it's true. Take advantage up to $3,000 credit on a 5 Series today.
Hi, I'm Alex Rodriguez, and here's tonight's starting lineup on Yes.
Jack and I follow you on Twitter, and we noticed you almost missed a flight recently.
Missed a flight. I almost missed multiple flights recently, but I'm here now, and that's all that matters. On time and ready to go with the Clubhouse Report.
Only a Honda is a Honda sales event is going on right now. And Hillside Honda is the dealer to show you why a Honda is a Honda. Drive any new 2012 Honda from Hillside Honda today for 0 down with 0.9 APR financing or 0 do-it lease signing. For complete details, go to hillsidehonda.com. That's right, drive any new 2012 Honda from Hillside Honda today for 0 down with 0.9 APR financing or 0 do-it lease signing. It's only a Honda is a Honda sales event going on right now at Hillside Honda in Queens, New York. Click hillsidehonda.com or call for complete details.
I gladly referred some of my friends to DirecTV. I get $40 a month off my bill. If I'm happy with something, I'm going to tell my friends about it. You know, I've referred people to my mechanic, but he's never given me a free oil change. But with DirecTV, when I refer somebody, I get a discount, and I think that says something about them.
For every friend you refer to DirecTV, you'll get $10 off your bill every month, and so will they. Refer more friends, save more money. Just give them your account number before they call.
Well, today's Old Timers Day special on Yes is presented by your Tri-State Ford dealers. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Visit your Tri-State Ford dealer tonight. Further, it's a beautiful afternoon here at Yankee Stadium. Nearly 50 former Yanks on hand for the annual Old Timers Day, and one of them known affectionately as the Straw Man, and he is standing by with our Jack Curry. Jack?
Bob, I didn't suddenly get taller than Darryl. He just happens to be standing a step below me.
Drop down for you.
But Darryl, what does this day mean to you to come back to Old Timers Day?
It just means being a part of a family, a tradition that just goes on and on and on, and just a remarkable place to play. When you see all the legends here and you see the players that you play with, and it was just all about winning. You know, we had such a winning attitude when I came over here, and Joe, you see Joe here, you see Tino, Bernie, O'Neill, the guys you played with, Jeet. It's just one of those things you will always remember in your career, you know, what baseball was really all about and when you had fun playing baseball.
We've heard guys talk about coming back and putting on the uniform, and that seems like such a simple act, but actually putting on the uniform, there's more symbolism and meaning for you guys.
No question. You talk about the success of a team, you know, of an organization, and you talk about the boss, you know, what he meant to all of us as players, and the respect that we had for him and he had for us, and the way he loved us and the way he believed in us. You know, I just think about the '96 World Series when we were down 0-2. He came into the clubhouse and he says, "You guys will go down to Atlanta and you'll win 3." You know, and you think about it, we went down there and we won 3. You know, so he's dearly missed. He's a big reason why we are who we are.
He brought you back, and he sort of gave you a renaissance in the second half of your career. Have you ever thought about that, how becoming a Yankee gave you a better ending to your career than maybe you would have had?
It gave me a better ending, no question about it, and I was grateful for the fact that he allowed me to come back to New York and to be able to play in New York and come over to the Bronx and play for the Yankees. I will always be grateful to George and his whole entire family and this Yankee organization for what he did for me.
Darryl, thank you for the time. I'm going to throw it over to Meredith Marakovitz.
Thanks, Jack. I'm joined by David Cone. David, what's it like to put the pinstripes back on?
It's a great day. I mean, the introductions are fantastic. And then when you see Yogi and Whitey right in last, it kind of puts it all in perspective. And, of course, the widows of the great Yankee players, too, to see Diana Munson and, Catfish Hunter's wife, and just great. Elston Howard's wife. The Yankees do it better than anybody. You mentioned the introductions, to hear the cheers from the fans again. Is that something special for you? It is. It always is special, just to get that acknowledgement, to walk out there and think that you're a ball player and they still remember you. They still remember what you did. And I played in the 90s. I know the guys in the 70s and the guys in the 50s appreciate it too. What type of shape is your arm in? Are you ready to go? We're going to find out. I'm going to give up another homer this year. They're fighting over who wants to hit off of me, either Tino or Paulie. Well, it's interesting you brought that up because I spoke with Tino Martinez earlier today and he said that you actually threw him that pitch on purpose. Well, I know where he likes it, put it that way. I've been with these guys long enough. I know right where their zone is. Is there anyone in particular you think you might group one to today? I don't know. Paulie's trying hard. He took a lot of batting practice before, and these guys take it seriously. Bernie, Paulie, and Tino, I think, have a little competition on who's going to be the next one to go deep. What's the best part about this day for you? It's really interacting with the generations. The Yankees are defined by their generations, and to reach back and to touch guys that played in the 50s and guys that actually knew Babe Ruth even. And it's remarkable with the Yankees. You've got the 50s, you've got the 70s and the 90s, and of course nowadays they're trying to create their own memories. What do you miss most about being in that uniform? I miss being good at it. I don't miss the way I'm going to throw the ball today. I miss being able to throw the ball, with something on it, but that competition is like no other. Just that feeling of you're in the heat of the battle. There's no better feeling. David, thanks for the time. Sure, Meredith, thanks. Send it over to Bob Lorenz.
All right, Meredith, thank you. Meredith and Jack will be part of our coverage all afternoon, along with Michael Kay, who will join me in just a bit. And, of course, 3 Yes broadcasters and former players. You saw David Cone as one. Paul O'Neill is another. He's out in right field getting loose for today's ball game. And, of course, Lou Piniella is here in attendance as well. 5 Hall of Famers are here. Amongst the nearly 50 former Yanks, Yogi Berra and Whitey Ford. We saw them introduced at the end of the introductions. Goose Gossage here as well. Ricky Henderson and Reggie Jackson. See Ron Guidry getting ready to go. It is the starting pitching matchup here. David Cone will get the start against Sterling Hitchcock. Hitchcock back for the first time at Old Timers Day, and you see what they did in their career with the Yankees. Hitchcock 22-24, the ERA a little north of 5, and for David Cone, of course, 64-40. Championship rings, the perfect game back in 1999 as part of Yogi Berra Day. If you go back to that and remember that, it was a tremendous celebration all the way around. You see a lot of the current Yankees in the dugout. Derek Jeter among them, talking to Cecil Fielder. Joe Girardi on hand, already out of uniform, by the way. He's got a game to manage later today against the White Sox. Nick Swisher always loves interacting with the older Yankee ball players and the legends of the game. Right around the corner, you see Tino Martinez, last year's home run king, peeking around the corner. Stump Merrill on the left. It's his first time back here at Old Timers Day. Long time in the Yankees organization. Mel Stottlemyre, former pitching coach during the dynasty years of the late 90s under Joe Torre. And, of course, Charlie Hayes, Willie Randolph. Willie saw him throwing BP to Paul O'Neill and Bernie Williams earlier, and make no mistake about it, those guys are ready to hit, as is Tino Martinez. I like what David Cone had to say. It's almost a battle to find out who David Cone is going to pitch to and give the home run up to. Let's get back down to the field now. Meredith Marakovich standing by with Derek Jeter. Meredith.
Derek, you came out of that clubhouse and saw the guys on the field and had a huge smile on your face. What's this day like for you?
I played with half of them, so it's fun. This is one of the special things about our organization is Old Timers Day, and get all the ex-players to come back. And, even though they're not playing, we got a lot of stories, a lot of laughs, and it's always good to see these guys.
Was there anyone in particular you were looking forward to seeing?
I don't know if I can narrow it down to one. Like I said, I've played with quite a few of these guys, so it's always fun to see them.
Can Paul O'Neill go yard on Coney?
No, Coney won't give me anything to hit. Off-speed pitches, so O'Neill might be out front a little bit.
Out of the guys you played with, who do you think still has game?
Is Mo playing in this today? Mo might be Ibanez. He might be able to do something in this game.
No, I'm talking about the guys that are playing in this game, not that's on your team now.
We got a lot of guys. Tino hit a home run last year. I missed it because I was hurt. Tino's still in pretty good shape.
Derek, thanks for the time.
All right, no problem.
Bob, send it back to you.
All right, Meredith, thank you. Good little comment there on some of the players he was curious about being in the Old Timers game. Michael Kay just joined me, put the headset on. Derek just wondered if maybe Mariano or Raul Ibanez were playing in this game.
I actually joked with Mariano because I couldn't believe how good he looked. He was walking around without a limp. I said, what are you milking this for? You could pitch. Right. And he said, well, I will be back. He said, I will remember those words. And then I said, are you going to pitch in the game today? Then he got upset and turned away and walked away. But he looks great, but no, I don't think he's going to be participating today.
You were down on the field doing the introductions. They also show at the same time the video that's up on the scoreboard. It's kind of an anticipation of who's coming up. That's always nice. You get that ripple in the crowd before the actual player is introduced.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. And, you always want to judge who's warmest and dearest to the fans' heart. And I think that as the fan base gets younger and the older guys, they still get the warm applause. But you see Bernie Williams, I think, got the loudest applause of all. And Paul O'Neill, I think that those teams, the 96, 98, 99, 2000 teams, hold a very, very special place in the Yankees' current fan base's heart, and you can just tell from the amount of applause they receive.
Again, it's David Cone against Sterling Hitchcock today. Hitchcock back for the first time, and there's Paul, and ready to take his customary spot out in right field.
Now, Paul, can you hear us? Paul? I guess he can't hear us. He might be ignoring me, Bob.
Yeah, he could be.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul, it's Bob.
Bob, what's up?
Oh, he was ignoring you.
What a stinking view out here, huh?
Oh, you like that? They seem to like you.
How are you? I throw a ball over to Ricky and he doesn't return it.
He's got to sign it first.
Paul, so what's it feel like getting introduced and getting that big hand?
Talk to the fans anyway.
They still have your jersey out there, O'Neill. I think he's ignoring me, Bob. I got the whole game to talk to him.
Yeah,
I'm not. I can't hear you, man. How am I supposed to play this game when I can't hear?
Yeah. You're just laser focused out there in right field. That's what it is.
See that? You know what? Swisher has trained these people to chant names out there. I like that. You better move that target in a little bit. Huh? You better move that target in a little bit. Better move that target in a little bit. Yeah, no problem. All right, man. Good seeing you guys.
All right, Paul O'Neill did go yard and BP, Bob, and I know he was trying to do it. So let's take a look.
Yeah, it's Willie Randolph throwing and just grooving.
I got that one though.
The target's going to have to move just a little to the right.
That's all I got. My last BP.
You didn't leave it all in the cage, I hope. It was interesting, David Cone talking about whether or not it's going to be Tino Martinez, Bernie Williams, or Paul O'Neill. Coney had some equity there. I mean, he really could have used that to his advantage, who he was going to throw a home run pitch to.
Absolutely, and Paul was complaining he did not want to get a left-handed pitcher up there against him. Mickey Rivers at the plate right now. That one is sliced the other way. I'm amazed at these old-timers games. When Mickey puts a ball in play, looks like he hasn't lost a step. I mean, he goes motoring around the bases. He's ready to roll.
Yep, he's always thinking 2 out of the box. There's no doubt about it.
Bald Vinny and the creatures with the roll call for old-timers. Check swing. Soft ground ball is short. Throw to first, and they just get Mickey.
And another look at that, just kind of chunks one towards short, and Lee Mazzilli to throw over to first base. And the out. So Mick the quick, just Mick the slightly less quick, I guess, at this point.
I think, was that Bucky?
It may have been Bucky.
I think that was Bucky.
Yep.
Here's Pat Kelly, had one of the more famous home runs in Yankee history. Yankees had been in a postseason drought, and he hit a home run on the second to last day in the Toronto. That gave the Yankees a chance for the wild card. There he hits one over the head of Darryl Strawberry in left field, and Pat Kelly will motor into second. Even thinking about third, he's going to go to third. And a slide, and he just got there with a triple.
Now, in watching Strawberry, he was either A, interacting with a fan, B, distracted by something else, C, thinking about diving for that ball, or 4, really had no interest in catching it on the fly.
I go with the latter.
Yeah. He gave it the courtesy wave as he tracked it down at the wall.
All right, now here's Tino Martinez, and he was really the talk of the town last year when he hit one out. And he said he's in much better shape. He's been running. He said, so now people are really going to expect him to hit it out. And they bring in the lefty Guidry to face Tino. I'm sure he's thrilled about that. Last year he had Coney, who was laying it right in there for him. But Tino looks like he's in game shape.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Between him, Paul O'Neill, there are a few guys out there. Then Pat Kelly with the slide, holding the pose, by the way, at the end. No, that's one thing, too. If you're playing in this game, you got to get the uniform a little dirty.
Absolutely. I think Guidry started him off with a breaking ball. Now the count 0-2.
I think Tino may have been baiting him with that swing.
They actually called that first breaking ball a ball, so it's 1-1. Now 1-2. Guidry, you know, we talked about it during the intros. What a season in '78. 25-3. An ERA under 2. He didn't win the MVP that year, which was strange, but he was the Cy Young Award winner. He was amazing. And Tino pops it up. Everybody's looking at everybody, and it falls. So Tino reaches with, I guess we have to score it a single. Mazzilli and Guidry were kind of looking at each other. You know, they say, Bob, it'll be a line drive in the box score. That will not be.
No, and we'll remind Tino of that often. By the way, again, lack of general interest in calling for that ball.
Well, here's Bernie Williams. And the pitch to Bernie is outside. Bernie was in the indoor batting cage adjacent to the Yankee clubhouse, taking some cuts, trying to get loose. And he wraps that one foul. 4 world titles for Bernie, 5-time All-Star, 4 Gold Gloves, the MVP in '96. Big hits, switch hitter, center fielder for the Yankees, and a huge part of what the Yankees did in starting this present dynasty, and came up through the system, struggled. But the Yankees held on to him, and he became the star they thought he was going to be.
And Jack Curry on the Old Timers pregame talked about his first year as a beat writer for the Times was Bernie's first year. And you remember what a difference he was back then. Skinnier, the big glasses, and how that's all changed.
Bobby had so much abuse thrown his way in the Yankee clubhouse, and very quietly the Yankees started to weed out those players that would make fun of Bernie. Not that Bernie couldn't handle it, but that was not the type of players they wanted. And he settled in and became a huge part of what they did over these years. Fly ball to center field. Ricky Henderson with the snatch catch. How about that with Ricky? And Pat Kelly tagged and scored, so a sac fly for Bernie.
Always does it with a little flair.
Not too many people like Ricky Henderson. Clippers lead the Bombers 1-0. Just underway here in the Old Timers game. And here's Willie. Willie Randolph.
You know, getting back to Guidry, you mentioned the 25 wins in that season. That number almost seems unfathomable for any starter in this day and age.
Willie hits one deep to left field. Strawberry back. He'll make the play near the warning track. And he gives the ball away, a la Dwayne Wise, for the final out of the top of the first inning. O'Neill's come up this inning, and he's got a lot of pressure on him. He's got to go yard.
So you mentioned that, Michael, on the pregame, that Piniella was putting pressure on him.
Yep.
Did you add to that, layer it on?
You know, I've got such a good relationship with Paul. I don't like to tease him or anything like that. But he's got a good thing going for him here because Coney's on the mound. I think that Coney played a big role in Tino's home run last year. He throws just hard enough and put it in the right spot that Tino could hit the home run. And we did see O'Neill hit one in batting practice. But Lou, throughout the first 3 games of the series, was giving it to O'Neill. On the air, off the air, about Tino want yard, you have to go yard. So I think that's definitely on Paul's mind.
Now we'll see if Cone makes him work for it. Is he going to groove a fastball? Is he going to spin a few pitches up there?
Well, David was not only on Paul's team, but he's on the Yes team with Paul, too. So there has to be a certain kinship there. He's got to lay one right on the tee pretty much. I'll tell you what, Bob, it was hot on the field.
Oh, I can imagine. You were down there in a suit.
It was broiling.
I was glad to see a lot of the players just held up.
Yep. David taking a lot of warm-ups, get that arm loose. You always get the feeling, Bob, that if David had to come in a big league game, somehow he'd invent something to get somebody out.
Oh, I think absolutely. If he had to get 2-3 outs, of course, he'd fight to get more than that. Stay in the game, but I absolutely agree with you. Stay up top, drop down to the side.
Let's see, Bucky Dent is going to lead off. Oh, Bucky's batting second. Ricky, of course, is leading off. Ricky was one of the most magnificent talents I've ever seen in the 5 years he was with the Yankees, and then obviously in the other places where he stopped during his big league career. What he could do, his speed, his power. He was just an incredible athlete. I think he could have excelled in any sport. Probably would have been a great football player. He played that in high school as well. He was amazing, Bob. He really was. The things he could do on a baseball field.
We always talk about guys changing the game with speed. He was one of the most notable guys in baseball history that could do that could get in a pitcher's head and even a catcher's head, knowing that if he was on first, it's almost a given he's going to end up on second.
Made the Baseball Hall of Fame in 2009. Ricky never really wanted to stop playing. He kept trying, kept trotting out there. He didn't care what team he was on, independent teams, but then he finally stayed out of the game for 5 years so he could get elected to the Hall of Fame. First ballot Hall of Famer.
But once a pitcher, always a pitcher. David Cone checking to make sure that his defense is ready to go.
So Ricky takes a pitch high. Ricky always took pitches, worked walks, and as you said, he would turn it into a double. There's a ground ball to short. And then one away.
Now Ricky wasn't exactly going full jets down to first base.
I think that's the prudent way to play this game.
Especially today with the heat on the field, right?
Here's Bucky Dent. Bucky's home run in 1978 against the Red Sox sent the Yankees to the World Series, and they won that time as well. And Bucky hits one foul. Bucky actually was a member of the White Sox. Yankees traded with the White Sox to get Dent to put him in at shortstop. Jim Mason had been playing shortstop on the 76 team, and Bucky came over, slid into that position, became a matinee idol, and hit one of the biggest home runs in Yankee history.
Speaking of that matinee idol persona, I've always kind of gone back and forth on Bucky in terms of, was the home run that he hit against the Red Sox his biggest moment, or his appearance in the 1979 TV movie Dallas Cowboys Cheerleaders?
Well, you know what? I see what you're saying, but I think the home run propelled him into that movie.
Probably.
Yeah. So I would guess the home run.
I know you like trivia, so he played the love interest of Jane Seymour in that movie.
I didn't know that.
It's not a bad acting gig.
Chop slowly, foul.
Just giving that to you. I know you love your pop culture.
You know what? I'm going to file that away and use it one day.
Please do.
Uh-huh. Bucky managed the Yankees as well. And he's worked the count 3-2 against David Cone. Bucky's getting some good hacks. You get one at bat a year. You can't give it away, Bob. There's a line drive base hit to left field. Mickey Rivers comes up throwing, and Bucky Dent gets himself a single. So Coney gives up his first hit, and now he's got to face Cecil Fielder.
One of the shots we had on the Old Timers pregame was the lineup cards. And you look at some of these names. Could you imagine if some of these lineups, if these guys were in their heyday playing a ball game? Dent, Fielder, O'Neill, Strawberry.
Now, Paul, you're can you hear me, Paul? Paul's on deck. Paulie?
Yeah.
You nervous?
As long as Big Daddy doesn't hit into 2, we got to been at bat this first inning.
Now, are you predicting a home run, Paul? You're guaranteeing?
You know what, Michael? I had 50 swings and I hit 2 out in BP, so I got 2 in 50 chance. Which isn't something to bet on, I don't think.
But you know, Coney's going to help you out, David. Paul, he's going to help you.
Unless he comes up here and hits it for me. Big Daddy's eyeballing him up there.
Paul, should we know ahead of time if you cut any sort of deal with Coney to groove one? No.
Coney he kind of had a game face on. He didn't want to talk to anybody. That kind of worried me. Michael, did you see BP?
I just saw. We showed a replay of it. It's impressive.
Nice.
Very nice.
Well, just go ahead and
run that
in there when I'm hitting it. Make it live.
And you know what was great, Paul? It wasn't a wall scraper. It was a couple of rows back.
Don't forget that bullseye is out there in right field.
Uh-oh, now watch this, watch this. Hey, Homer, you're gonna get it in the head.
He's an infielder. You're doing a great job.
Nice of Homer Bush to put on the catcher's gear and catch this one. He had no idea what that was until Paul started yelling. So a 3-2 count on Fielder. O'Neill's not hoping for a double play here. And it won't be. Popped up. And there's the second out. And that's going to bring up O'Neill. Good luck, Paul.
I got to take this thing out of my ears. I've never been in a batter's box with people talking to me.
All right.
Especially Michael Kay. I try to get him out of my head.
A lot of voices in that head. He just doesn't want yours in his head right now when he's hitting.
We should just let Paul do the commentary.
Ow!
Grounded to first. And that'll do it.
Oh, that was good.
I don't think I've ever heard pain incorporated into play-by-play.
Oh, now Jeter will give it to him for sure.
I figured I saw you the first seat. Yeah. Oh, I know.
Well, that wasn't what we were hoping for, Bob.
No.
And we have 9 innings during the regular game to just torment him about it.
And I'm sure we've got that shot from a variety of angles as well. So you can
and on Yesmo.
Right. You can haunt him in high def.
Now is he going to come back out? All right, so Jack Curry is down on the field. I think he's grabbed somebody. Jack, who do you have?
Michael, I have Ricky Henderson. And Ricky, what was it like to be back in the batter's box?
Oh, it felt great being back in the batter's box. I wish I'd have hit the ball or maybe hit my leadoff home run, but, you know, it just felt great just being out here and having some fun with the guys that you played with and just being back in Yankee Stadium.
Now, the camaraderie, it must come instantly because I saw you watching Cecil Fielder's at bat as if this was a World Series game.
I was hoping that he was going to hit a home run since I didn't do nothing, so I hope he hit a home run so we can get on the board and hoping that we can win this ball game.
I know you got to get back out there and play defense, but the fans want to see you get on base because they want to see you steal a base.
Oh, see, they didn't tell me they really want me to get on base. I'd probably beat out that little ground ball, and then I'd have been able to steal a base. So, but if I get another chance up to go at bat, I'd try to get on and steal a base for him.
Terrific. Thanks a lot, Ricky. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jack. It's amazing. He wants to win this game.
Yep.
That never goes away. He said, I just want to get on the board so we could win this game. Right now, they're trailing 1-0. Does O'Neill have his earpiece back in?
I got it in, Michael. I couldn't get you out of my head, man. That's the worst at bat I've ever had in my life.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
I got Michael K. ringing in my ear in the batter's box.
Did he throw you a good pitch?
Yeah, he threw me a good pitch. I just got a bad swing, that's all.
By the way, we're editing that swing together on loop so we can watch it over and over.
Please, how do you cut and paste that thing and put one of my BP swings in there?
You also had a very good bat flip. I don't know if you realize that. You were very disgusted, Paul.
Yeah, well, that's some things you never lose. You might lose your swing, but not the flip.
Where's a water cooler when you need one?
Paul, we want you to listen to what you sounded like. After this pitch, we're going to play a replay of the sound of your swing. You're going to love this, Paul. All right, listen to this, Paul. Here it is.
Ow! Yeah, that's right. Blew off the end of the bat there.
Jesse Barfield at the plate, and he hits one sharply to third.
Nice play.
Lee Mazzilli with a nice pick.
Fires it back over to first, so.
Lee showing quick hands.
Oh, look at Maz Olay the ball, like he had it all the way.
Paul, does it feel natural out there?
You know what it feels like? I swear to God, if this was a real game, I'd be scared to death out here. This outfield looks like a parking. It's huge. You just look at all the places that ball could land where I couldn't get to at this point. I asked Straw. He said he had a beat on that ball. I said it just kept moving from him. That first inning. Just goes to show you.
Tanyan Sturtz is on the mound now, facing Charlie Hayes.
Oh!
Yankees got Charlie in August of '96, kind of teamed him up at third base with Wade Boggs. He made that catch. Look at Tanyan Sturtz making the catch.
Hey, Michael.
Yes, Paul.
Michael.
Yes, Paul.
I can do that Bigelow tea for you right now that's hot. Huh? How's that?
Well, you know what? That's one element that's out of the broadcast now. Now, you feeling comfortable with Pete Stendhal, our cameraman, right out there with you?
Yeah, this is nice. I jumped. I gave him a fake on one of them. We got lefty up here, by the way. Heads up.
You know, you never used to have company when you played right field.
Oh, I had company. It just that you couldn't see him. I could.
Ron Bloomberg with a ground ball is short.
Hey, that's the kind of innings we're looking for here.
Nice 1-2-3, and that'll do it. So we played an inning and a half as O'Neill will jog in along with Pete Stendhal.
I look good doing this.
You look like the old days, Paul.
That's right. Now let me go in and beat up something.
Thanks, Paul. Let's go down to Meredith Marakovitz, and she's with Ron Guidry.
Ron, what was it like getting back out there on the mound?
Well, it's really fun. You know, you don't try to do anything out of the ordinary. You just try to lay the ball in there so the guys can take some good swings. It's all fun. The main thing is I always tease them, okay, look, I'll give you the hit, but just don't hit the ball back up the middle.
When was the last time prior to that you were on the mound?
Spring training. When I go to spring training, like I have been every year, we'll throw a little bit, and that's the last time. It's about the only time all year that I actually do any kind of throwing.
What's this day like for you, having the chance to kind of see some of your old friends, your old teammates?
Well, that's the fun part of the day, because there's a lot of us that, you know, you've always made good friends with most of the guys that you played with, and you will see a lot of them throughout the year because you're doing functions together. But there are some guys that this is the only time that you get to see them. So it's always fun to see them again and pick up, you know, a whole year's activity, you know, as we're getting older and our kids are growing, now we're grandfathers. And so it's always fun to get to know what they've been up to.
Ron, thank you for the time. For now, we're going to send it over to Jack Curry. Jack?
Thanks a lot, Meredith. Well, Robin, you could be a Yankee old-timer, but you've got some business to take care of with the White Sox right now. But I notice you are out here watching. What is this like for you?
It's great. I think even playing here when they had old-timers game, there's nothing like it in baseball, really. I mean, you see all these guys that come out, the history that's here, fans love it. You know, even my guys, I told them, make sure you get out. You know, just for them to be able to, you know, see guys like Whitey and Yogi come out. You know, these are people that they've heard about their whole lives, so they need to come out and experience this.
Now, I know your goal is to come here and beat the Yankees, but when you saw on the schedule Old Timers Day, was that a little perk, a little fringe benefit for you?
Yeah, 4 days and Old Timers game. I mean, it's great to come back to New York and, you know, be able to bring a team in here. But when I found out it was Old Timers game, it was great. Again, I think the players, they won't know it today, but I think later on they'll be very happy that they were here today and to experience all these guys. And it's actually funny because now I got guys that they look at Tino Martinez like he's a really old guy. So I think I just aged in their eyes too.
Michael, Bob, send it back to you.
Thanks, Jack, and thanks to Robin as well. And Darryl Strawberry with a deep fly ball, at least for an old-timers day, and it's foul. Got it off the end of the bat.
You know, it's funny, a little more than a year ago, Robin Ventura probably thought the only time he would put a uniform back on, at least in the short term, was for something like an old-timers day, and then they pulled him off the beach, essentially. First-time manager, and he's done a great job with the White Sox.
Done a great job. His team respects him. He gets them to play hard. He's a good guy. Strawberry fouls it back. Strawberry was talking to me before the game about in his prime, if he had played here with the way the ball jumps out to right field, he kind of had this big grin on his face. That one is driven out to right. And the catch is made.
A little dramatic flair there. I love it.
Jesse Barfield.
Are we awarding style points at all, or are there judges somewhere?
All right, what do you give him for style points?
Well, for the catch, we're basing it on 1 to 10. For the catch, I'll give him an 8, 8.5. The roll, that might have dropped to a 7.
That's a nice tuck and roll, though. You know, you look at Jesse Barfield, and you got to think our colleague Al Leiter. They traded Al Leiter for Jesse Barfield. Right. Broke Al's heart, but he's back with the S, so he's fine now. Joe Pepitone at the plate. Grounded to first. And Tino will step up for the second out. Graham Lloyd on the mound. Let's see who we have in the box right now. It's Lee Mazzilli. Mazzo. Graham Lloyd might be a little bit tired. He just got back from a wedding in Thailand, but he is out on the mound.
Came a long way to pitch and going to make a little defensive play there.
That was a nice play by Lloyd. And that'll do it. There's more Old Timers Day baseball coming. You stay right where you are. We thank you for joining us early today on Yes. We've got a big game coming up as well. Nice play by Jesse Barfield.
Everything looks good in pinstripes. So can you with the Yankees Edition Ford Escape.
The Yankees Edition Escape. Register at your local Tri-State Ford dealer or Yankees.com/Ford, and you could drive one home from the game on July 17th. Get your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Become a Yankees Universe MVP member today. MVP members enjoy exclusive benefits highlighted by 2 field-level tickets to a select 2012 regular season home game.
Members also receive a Yankees Universe hooded sweatshirt, a Yankees hat, a Yankees Universe banner,
and a limited edition Mariano Rivera bobblehead.
A portion of all proceeds are donated to Memorial Sloan Kettering, benefiting pediatric cancer research. So join Yankees Universe today by visiting Yankees.com or by calling 1-800-GO-YANKS.
Rotation questions, lineup changes, injury updates. Joe knows.
Absolutely.
And so will you when you watch WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show every week on Yes.
I'm really excited.
It's a review.
They were swinging and missing.
It's a preview.
That's an explosive lineup.
It's your complete view of the only team that matters.
My concern is winning our division.
WB Mason presents the Joe Girardi Show. New every Sunday, only on Yes.
It's a new challenge every year.
Joe knows.
Our thanks to Ford for participating in today's Old Timers Day special. Thanks, Ford. Speaking of Ford, good to see Whitey and Yogi ride in from the center field wall. That was a really nice moment. Crowd gave him a huge ovation.
It's always great to see that almost mischievous grin on the face of Yogi Berra. He loves it. Loves the day, loves coming back, loves seeing the players, and they love seeing him.
So Homer is going to lead off against Sterling Hitchcock. Sterling Hitchcock was part of one of the bigger deals in Yankee history. The Yankees put him as part of a package to Seattle with Russ Davis, and the Yankees got back Jim Mercier, Jeff Nelson, and a guy named Tino Martinez. Not a bad deal.
That worked out all right.
Now Sterling knows in the old days he could not pitch with that beard, so that is a new-looking Sterling Hitchcock against Homer Bush. Homer with a fly ball to right field. And that's going to dunk in. I think that's Tanyan Sturtz out there.
You know, they teach you at a young age, don't pick the ball up with your mitt, pick it up with your bare hand. It took him a while.
Well, you know, he's used to being on the mound. Taking one for the team to be in the outfield.
It's a good point. Pitchers aren't supposed to field fly balls. Get out of the way.
Here's Mickey Rivers with Homer Bush on second. And there's a strike from Sterling Hitchcock. He fights that one off and fouls it off. Top of the third inning, Clippers looking to add to their lead. There's a base hit for Mickey Rivers. Homer Bush goes to third, and he's going to hold right there. Now, let me get this straight, Bob. The Clippers are batting.
Right.
O'Neill's out of the game already? Are you kidding me?
We're going to have to get some intel on that. That's not right.
That's unbelievable. He said today's the day he's actually going to prep for a broadcast.
Really?
Yes, he's got the notes and everything. He's reading them right now. Pat Kelly rips a single to left field. That'll score Homer Bush. Mickey Rivers goes to second.
Well, he wasn't really active out there in right field. I mean, he could have just had the notes out there.
You would think. Pat Kelly now lives in Australia and always makes a trip to the States to play in this game. It's one of his favorite days of the year. Here's Tino Martinez, and there's a strike. Tino's trying to go yard there.
Yeah,
Bob.
no
It's
doubt
obvious.
about it.
Pulling off, the shoulders opening up. It's just not right.
I think you got to stay outside on him with these pitches.
Also, Sterling Hitchcock looks like he's throwing fairly hard for an old timers game. So these two are actually traded for each other, and here they are going up against each other. And Tino strikes out. So in stark contrast to last year when he went yard. Now we got to thank our guy Tad, who was risking his life behind home plate with that camera, giving us those great shots. There's Tad. He is soaked to the bone. Believe me, I know the feeling, Tad. Here's Bernie. Nice, laced into right center field. It is a base hit. Tanyan Sturts with a nice play, cuts the ball off in the gap. I am amazed at Mickey Rivers. I mean, he was motoring from second base there. So a nice piece of hitting by Bernie Williams.
You take one more look. Mickey just making sure the ball's down. And that was even a jog compared to, there we go. That's what we saw when he ran to first.
And there's Willie Randolph again. Willie wraps one to right field, and that is going to dunk in for a base hit. So the bases are loaded here for the Clippers as they're up 3-0 and looking for more.
And Tanyan Sturts out there in right is getting loose. He's thrown 2 balls from right field to home plate. Now we could really break down game strategy here. Second time through for this order, getting more reps, getting more comfortable at the plate. I'm not sure that's the case in an old timers game.
You know what? I think it's a smart thing to do, Bob. I think we should break it down, treat it like a regular game. Here's Jesse.
Where's David Cohn with his advanced metrics? Can we get some of that in the booth?
He'd break out WAR and WHIP and all that stuff. There he is. He's calculating it right now. You know, we joke about it, Bob. All of these guys have pride. They all want to do well out here. They don't want to embarrass themselves.
I know you can.
And they're looking to make a mark. Remember last year when Tino hit that home run, it was all over SportsCenter. The strikeout will not be.
Yeah. He's going to make sure that gets stuck in the archives somewhere. Wow, tremendous catch by the fan. Right in the front row of the second deck.
How about that? All right.
You know what I love about that? Because you always see the ball glance off the first fan's hands.
Right.
And then somebody next to him gets it. That was a great catch on her part. Well done.
She aggressively went after it, and it reminded me of when Flaherty knocked you out of the way on the West Coast when, you know.
That was Seattle, yeah.
And he almost killed you.
He did.
Yeah.
He had no regard for his play-by-play partner. Just knocked me out of the way.
It was a great catch by John Flaherty, but you were just collateral damage.
But then he let everybody know about it, too.
So the umpire has his hand on Matt Noakes, and then Tad has his hand on the umpire. It's almost like a triple play behind the plate. Oh, look at that snap throw to third. And they get Pat Kelly. What a play there by Matt Noakes.
Pat Kelly just napping. Good heads-up play by Noakes.
This is Noakes' first time back, and he was marveling at this new ballpark. He was walking around like a kid in a candy store. He said, wow, they have air conditioners in the dugout? It's unbelievable. And then he saw the indoor batting cage. He said, we used to have to walk down to the right field line. Matt lives in San Diego. There's Tad annoying somebody else. And that ball gets past Matt Noakes. And the runners will move up.
Well, just couldn't pick it, so the runners did move up slowly to second and third.
How do you score that, Bob? Wild pitch, pass ball, indifference?
Indifference, yeah. Old timers indifference, OTI.
Two outs here in the top of the third. Clippers up 3-0. Runners on second and third, and a 3-2 count. Barfield grounds one through the left side for a base hit. So Bernie moves to home plate, picks up the bat, and scores the 4th run. And Hitchcock might be laboring a bit.
Yeah, I think he's taking one for the team here. Just going to stay out there until he gets that 3rd out. Staying out there longer than O'Neill did. Might add that.
Yeah.
I'm watching you.
But good to hear he'll be well prepared for your broadcast.
That's
with him
important.
Today. Yep.
That's important. Charlie Hayes at the plate. That one is wrapped to deep left center field. That is going to be a base hit and more. Randolph scores. Darryl Strawberry wants no part of getting that baseball. Jesse Barfield rounds third. He will score. And Charlie Hayes kind of walks into second base with a 2-run double.
He literally just stepped on second base. Good sound to that one. And he could see that Darryl Strawberry had no interest in it, so it was an easy double.
It was funny watching Ricky look at Darryl, Darryl look at Ricky, and I'm not getting it. Well, I'm not getting it. And then Ricky finally gave in and went to get it. Darryl, please.
They're probably hoping somebody in the stands had one of those like golf ball pickers.
Yep.
They could just reach over the wall and pull it up.
6-0 Clippers. And Homer Bush fouls it back.
Another good catch behind the plate. Not far from where the lady caught the last one.
Well, his glove. And another base hit. Homer Bush lines a single to left field. Charlie Hayes will stop there at third. Darryl flips the ball into Bucky Dent.
And Sterling Hitchcock is thinking, what do I need to do to get this final out? Third time up for Mickey Rivers.
It's a little surprising, Bob. There's nobody up in the Yankee pen.
Who actually would make that decision, I wonder?
I think Roy White is handling a lot of the managerial duties. They don't even have the tarp off the mounds out there. You know, the movements are a little slower.
Right.
But the way they carry themselves, and I mean the way Sterling Hitchcock goes into a set and looks in for it's as if he's still playing. Mickey Rivers, as if he's still playing, just a little bit grayer. And that'll do it as Mickey swings and misses, and Hitchcock finally gets out of the inning. Well, Bernie Williams probably got the biggest hand of all the Yankee old-timers, and Jack Curry is with him right now on the field.
Thanks, Michael. Yes, he did get a big hand. Now, Bernie, Old Timers Day is great, but you want to come out here and get a hit, too, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, once you start playing the game, then the competitiveness, rises up, and you want to do well, like everybody else. It's just that it's not as much pressure as it used to be. You take about 20 seconds to get to first base, and you try not to fall on your face if you're catching a fly ball in center field. But other than that, it's fun. I'm kind of messing around with the fans out there, just appreciating what their support over the years.
And I'm sure they're happy to hear that. You got a sac fly, then you got a single, you ran around the bases, and when you passed Robin Ventura, you basically said, I'm done.
Yeah, it's too hot. It's too hot here. but it's fun, though. It's fun. Once a year, I think it's good.
But you were even looking at the scoreboard and saying, hey, I might get another at-bat. So the competitive side of you was even thinking that there might be a third at-bat.
It's just, it comes back, it comes back. All the, you get conflicting thoughts, you start thinking about, you're playing in the game, you're wearing the uniform, and it's hot, and it's kind of like a game atmosphere, so you start thinking ahead, like I was a player. But then you kind of go back and say, you're not playing this game. This is fun. This is just joking. So.
Well, he is playing this game, Michael. He's having fun. I'm going to send it back to you.
Thank you, Jack, and also thank you to Bernie. We're going to have Bernie up in the booth probably in the first inning of the regularly scheduled game between the Yankees and the White Sox. Bob Lorenz has departed. He's going to go downstairs, get ready for the pregame show, so we'll take this the rest of the way. That's the view from behind Tino Martinez as they toss it around the infield. Graham Lloyd is on the mound for the Yanks. Lloyd was such an important, effective pitcher for the Yankees out of their bullpen. Left-hander, and in that 96 series, he got some big outs. None of the lefty hitters on the Braves could solve him at all. He never gave up an earned run in the 2 World Series in which he pitched for the Yankees in 96 and 98. Yankees got him from the Brewers toward the end of the 96 season, and he really was a very, very, very valuable player out of the bullpen for the Yanks. So Graham Lloyd will try to close this out. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning. And here's Brian Doyle. Willie Randolph got hurt in 78. A lot of people forget this, and Brian Doyle was unbelievable in that World Series. And some thought that Brian Doyle could have been the MVP just as easily as Bucky Dent could have been. He helped the Yankees to that championship in 78. That was the Yankee version of when the Mets had Al Weiss in 1969. Brian Doyle out of nowhere and played a huge role, hitting over 400 as he slaps that one into center field. A base hit for Doyle. Two pretty good second basemen right there. Willie Randolph and Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly is playing short. Willie is at second. You got Charlie Hayes over third and Tino Martinez at first. Willie could play an amazing second base with the Yankees in the 77 and 78 championship seasons. That one is hammered into right field for a base hit. Matt Noakes with a single. Ball gets past Willie, but Pat Kelly backing up. Jesse Barfield had one of the best arms in baseball. Flips that ball in. And we're going to get another look at Ricky Anderson.
That was a decoy in case the next one tries it.
Ricky told Jack that he wanted to go yard with a leadoff home run, so looks like he could still play. Same sort of shape. He takes a strike there from Graham Lloyd. Clippers lead the Bombers 6-0, bottom of the final inning. Count 1-1. And he hammers that one to left field for a base hit. That will load the bases for the Bombers. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the final inning. Brian Doyle scurries back to third. Matt Noakes is at second. And Ricky's at first. Too bad someone's on second because Ricky said he would try to steal. And here's Bucky Dent. And Dent crushes one to left field, and that ball is a foul ball. Dent's been all over it today, hitting hard line drives into the seats, down the line, but not able to keep it fair. Grounded, foul. Brian Doyle doing his version of Carlton Fisk, but it did not stay fair. Hot shot to third. Charlie Hayes still has the good hands. There's one. On to first, it's a double play as Doyle scores the Bombers' first run. So down to their final out, and here is Cecil Fielder. Tough hop, and Hayes stayed with it. To Randolph with the nice pivot over to Tino for the 5-4-3 around the horn double play. Fielder rips one past Hayes, and that'll go down into the left field corner. Doyle scores. Fielder wants no part of a double, and he will stay at first with an RBI single. It's now 6-2 Clippers. So the Fielder hit gets another at bat for Darryl Strawberry. Graham Lloyd sets and deals. Outside, 1-0. Foul back. Clippers lead 6-2. High fly ball, center field. Bernie makes the play, and that will do it as the Clippers beat the Bombers by a 6-2 score. Crowd with a nice hand as the old-timers come off the field. They put in a good effort on a steaming hot Sunday afternoon here in New York City. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up. The old-timers, Clippers 6, the Bombers.
It's imperative that you trust the auto dealership you're working with. At Bay Ridge Toyota and Toyota of Manhattan, we've earned the trust of our customers for over 40 years in business. They trust the fact that we have the largest selection of new and used vehicles, ensuring you get the exact vehicle you want at an affordable price. Like this new 2012 Toyota Corolla LE for just $169 per month with $0 down. And at Toyota of Manhattan and Bay Ridge Toyota, the trust continues with our award-winning service departments. So if you're looking for a Toyota, trust in us.
Big Bucks Auto. You've seen us on TV. You've heard us on the radio. We pay top dollar for thousands of vehicles, and we're still buying stronger than ever.
Don't spend your hard-earned money on costly ads that just don't work. Then have psychos coming to your home.
No more bait-and-switch trade-ins and not knowing what you're really getting for your car.
Drive in for your free cash appraisal. We'll make you an offer and give you big bucks on the spot.
Even if it's leased or financed. Call us today at Big Bucks Auto.
509-1652.
Today's Old Timers Day special on Yankee, presented by your Tri-State Ford dealers. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Visit your Tri-State Ford dealer tonight. Go further. So another rousing success in Old Timers Day here at Yankee Stadium. Crowd still filing in for the regular game as the Yankees try to split a 4-game set with the Chicago White Sox. Big hands, guys get together, relive old times, and for one day again they become young one more time. Take the field where they did their best work as athletes, and you could see the joy in their face when they do it. Meredith Marakovitz is also down on the field with one of the Yankee old-timers. Meredith?
Thanks, Michael. I'm with Tino Martinez. Tino, what was it like to get back out there on the field again?
It was great. It was a lot of fun out there. I wish I had hit a home run again like I did last year, but it didn't work out. But to be around these guys and play a couple innings here and just make the fans probably laugh a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I
was going to ask you, not as dramatic offensively as it was last year. What was going on in the batter's box?
I didn't have it today. I didn't have it. I was swinging too hard. I was trying to hit a home run like last year. I just didn't have it.
What'd you think of your buddy Paul O'Neill? He was trying to hit a home run as well, did not succeed either.
Oh, he was trying. I saw him. He was out here hitting batting practice for about 20 minutes. I mean, 400 swings he took just to try to hit a home run, but it didn't work out.
Anybody that impressed you today?
Well, yeah, Pat Kelly. Pat Kelly, every year, he comes here and gets 3 or 4 hits every time he plays. He hits the ball hard, and It's amazing.
What will you remember about this day?
Just the introductions. When you see Yogi and Whitey coming out, and then you see the wives of Thurman Munson and Billy Martin, those guys, those things are things you always remember.
Tino, thanks for the time, and we're going to send it back to Michael Kay. Michael?
Thanks, Meredith, and thank you to Tino. So a really rousing success, as it always is, Old Timers Day, where everyone becomes young again. Just a great day here at the stadium, and we're not even finished. Paul O'Neill wore a mic, couldn't hit a home run. Pat Kelly, though, he did his job. He got a triple. Bernie Williams drove in a run with a sac fly, and Ricky Henderson with a little bit of a snatch catch. Everybody had smiles. They battled the heat. They got it done, and they turned back the clock one more day here in the Bronx. Coming up, Jack and Bob will get you ready for our game between the Yankees and the White Sox right here on Yes. So long, everybody.
Everything looks good in pinstripes. So can you with the Yankees Edition Ford Escape.
The Yankees Edition Escape. Register at your local Tri-State Ford dealer or Yankees.com/Ford, and you could drive one home from the game on July 17th. Get your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Welcome to center stage. Today's guest is a headlining actor, comedian, singer, superstar chef, the legendary.
I don't know what to say. I'm speechless.
The incomparable.
Listen, I have to tell you this story.
America's greatest.
I wish I was that cool.
You are a rock star.
I needed to know that. Are you kidding me? I have goosebumps.
GMC presents Center Stage with Michael Kay.
That is the best show.
Only on Yes.
Welcome to another edition of Yankees Magazine. I'm Nancy Newman.
Pitchers! Oh my God, let's go party!
They see their favorite players.
I'm excited. This is a way for us to put smiles on the faces of the children. This year especially was huge.
The 0-1. Drill to right field. See ya! A grand slam!
I want to go out there and have as much fun as I can.
Yankees Magazine. New episodes every week. Only on Yes.
A beautiful day for a ball game in the Bronx and a chance to start or continue something beautiful as he gets set for the final game of 4 against the White Sox, because the Yankees coming off a 20-7 June. That was the best in the majors. They hope to start July the same way. And great to have you with us here on the Tri-State Ford pregame from inside Yankee Stadium. Bob Lorenz along with Jack Curry. Meredith Morakowitz will be along in just a moment. Of course, we just got done with the Old Timers game, and the Old Timers held up pretty well in that one.
Pretty exciting game, Bob. You sit in the dugout as I did, and you watch these guys. It's meaningful that they're here, but then once they get here, those competitive juices start flowing, and you can see they want to be able to have that swing that they had 10 years, 20 years ago, and sometimes it just doesn't come back.
All right, so, of course, we're getting ready for the final game of 4 against the White Sox as the Yankees try to even the series. But there is news on the day regarding 3 Yankees, because 3 were selected to be starters in this year's All-Star game. Derek Jeter, Robinson Cano, and Curtis Granderson. And Jack, let's start with Derek Jeter. Yet another nod from the fans and voters.
Yeah, he's a staple at the All-Star game, Bob, and he deserves it. He has slowed down recently, but the start that he had at the beginning of this season, guy was hitting 360 or 370. Fans want to see Jeter there. They vote him in. It's an event that he has won the MVP in previously, so Jeter wasn't there last year. I'm sure he'll be happy to be back there this year.
Yep, no doubt about it. Now Jeter on the season, batting an even 300, 13 doubles, 41 runs scored, his 13th All-Star selection. Now Robinson Cano for a while was trailing Ian Kinsler of the Rangers in the voting, but he surged ahead about the final week and a half.
And I remember, Bob, when those first vote tallies came out, you and I discussed this on our pregame, and we said, honestly, Cano's got to be there. He had better numbers than Kinsler. I believe he's a better player than Kinsler. And the June that he had, unbelievable. Hit over 300, 11 home runs. So the Yankees will have both of their guys, their shortstop and second base combination. And I should say, when I said Jeter wasn't there last year, it was because of an injury.
All right, now you see the numbers on Cano. Curtis Granderson has continued what he really started a couple back half of the 2010 season, took it through 11, and and that swing is grooving right now. He's knocking the ball out of the park.
No doubt about it, Bob. Since the beginning of 2011, second in the major leagues in home runs. He's a guy who goes up there with a great plan. You don't think he's going to have the power that he does, but he comes through with it, and he is definitely a deserving All-Star candidate.
All right, so 3 Yankees will be starters in this year's All-Star game for the American League. You see the numbers there on Granderson, and again, Jeter and Cano voted in as well. All right, want to send it over on the first base side now to our Meredith Marakovich standing by with the Clubhouse Report, brought to you by Empire City Casino. And you know, Meredith, I mentioned in the Old Timers game, I kind of jokingly said to Jack, they held up pretty well. Well, I was only half joking because it is very hot here on the field, and obviously that could be a factor in today's ball game against the White Sox.
There's no question about it. It's been hot all series, and you know it is sweltering out here. You literally walk outside and start sweating immediately, so these guys are going to need to make sure that they stay hydrated this afternoon. If you look at last night's win, Jack and Bob, a lot of it came from the big names, but they're also getting a lot of help from their bench. They've been doing it all season long. Dwayne Wise, the most recent contributor so far in this homestand, he is 7 for 11 with 2 home runs. Joe Girardi spoke about the bench prior to today's game.
I think it's important, and you can include Chavi and Jonesy in there as well. I think it's important, especially with this heat, and we're in the midst of 13 in a row, and it's a difficult part of our schedule. I think it's real important.
What is it about this team that has continually managed to avoid those long skids?
You know, I think it's probably the all the veterans that we have. It's very seldom do we send out a young player. And guys have been through it before, and they understand that, you know what, you're going to go through some tough times. I mean, that's the bottom line, and you're going to get beat up some days. You're going to get hit hard some days. Some days you're not going to swing the bats, but every day is a new opportunity.
Anyone else? Hang on one second. Thanks, Ron.
With A-Rod, what about just keeping him fresh for the second half of the season? I'm sure that's why you want to keep him off day today.
I think that's important, and we're going to go to 3 days on turf, and then we're going to have a day off, and we're going to split doubleheader on Saturday. So I'm doing what I can to keep him fresh and trying to be cognizant of the other guys as well.
And Joe Girardi just spoke about keeping Alex Rodriguez fresh for the second half of the season. But really, he's making an effort for these guys, giving them days off to try to ensure that they remain healthy for the entire season, case in point with today's lineup.
All right, Meredith, thank you. Of course, we will check in with you later on today, and then we'll see you once again on the postgame show.
I'll be here.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Jack and I will have more on today's ball game. The White Sox going up against the Yankees on the 66th Old Timers Day. Jack and I have highlights of that ball game coming up next.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is presented by your Tri-State Ford dealers. Check out the best-selling vehicles in America. Visit your Tri-State Ford dealer today. Go further.
Everything looks good in pinstripes. So can you with the Yankees Edition Ford Escape.
The Yankees Edition Escape. Register at your local Tri-State Ford dealer or Yankees.com/Ford, and you could drive one home from the game on July 17th. Get your Tri-State dealer.
Let's say you need one of these. Or one of these.
Now is the time to buy during the July 4th sale at PC Richard & Son.
Save big on our huge selection of televisions, guaranteed lowest prices.
With up to 24 months financing.
Right now, get a free 19-inch Samsung LED TV with the purchase of select Samsung 60-inch televisions.
Plus, you get all of them. That's our installation and repair team.
And they make sure your new TV is up and running perfectly.
Get free delivery with any TV purchase of $695 and up. Nobody beats PC Richard & Son.
Technology accelerates at a relentless pace. Anything not moving forward is moving backward. Introducing the 2013 GS with the Lexus Inform app suite, the most connected information and communication technology available in an automobile. The all-new Lexus GS. Lease the all-wheel drive 2013 GS 350 for $579 a month for 27 months with $3629 due at signing. See your Lexus dealer.
Hold up, Flex. Yes. I got you tonight. This Hot 97.
World premiering new music first, exclusive freestyles, and more.
Kanye, what up?
Penitentiary chances, the devil dances, and eventually answers.
Funkmaster Flex, weeknights at 7 p.m. only on Hot 97.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. By Benjamin Moore. Visit BenjaminMoore.com/promo for $5 off a gallon of Benjamin Moore paints and stains. And by your local Hyundai dealer and our MVP, the 2012 Sonata.
Well, of course, the 66th Old Timers Day game was just played, and a few guys, Jack, came to hit.
Yeah, Pat Kelly drills this ball into the left field corner. He ended up with a triple. Bernie Williams didn't look happy there, Bob, but he got a sacrifice fly. Paul O'Neill definitely not happy on that ground out.
We'll show that a lot when he's with Michael Kay calling the game, no doubt about it. And then Darryl Strawberry out to right and get Jesse Barfield a few style points there with the tuck and roll.
Absolutely. And then Kelly came up again. He might have been the star of the game. He had another base hit. You fly here all the way from Australia, you better get a couple of hits.
No doubt about it. Well, let's get to today's Toyota text poll question. Which of these annual fan favorites do you enjoy the most? Text 1 for 4th of July, 2 for the All-Star Game, or 3 for Old Timers Day. Send your vote to 42951. Standard text message rates apply. Well, that leads us to our Just for Men Auto Stop Foolproof stat of the day. And it focuses on today's starter for the Yankees, Phil Hughes. Aside from one rocky outing against the Braves, Hughes was fantastic in the month of June. Even with that tough start factored in, he went 4-1 with a 2.67 ERA over 5 starts. He struck out 4 batters for each one that he walked, and that run of pitching also includes his first career 9-inning complete game. And just as the Yankees were able to count on Hughes last month, you can count on Just for Men Auto Stop for foolproof results. Time for another break here on the Tri-State Ford pregame. When we come back, Jack and I take a closer look at Phil Hughes and what he might have in store for the White Sox today.
Phil Hughes, 65.
The Yankees pregame show on Yes is brought to you in part by Lexus of Englewood, where they define value and exceed your expectations. LexusofEnglewood.com. By Turkey Hill, the official ice cream of the New York Yankees. And by Land Rover.
A car is either luxury or it isn't. If you want a luxury car with a standard power moonroof, your options are going to be limited. If you want standard leather-trimmed seats, you're going to have even fewer. And if you want standard keyless access, then your choice is obvious. The Lexus ES. It's complete luxury in a class full of compromises. Lease the 2012 ES350 for these terms and we'll make your first month's payment compliments of Lexus. See your Lexus dealer.
Well, the kids wanted a puppy, but they can be really expensive. So to save money, I just found him a possum.
Dad, I think he's dead.
Probably just playing possum. There he is.
There's an easier way to save. Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hurry to the annual tent event at your Hyundai dealer. While the tent is up, you'll discover great savings inside. Take the Sonata, for instance. At 35 MPG Highway, the Sonata is just another reason why Hyundai is America's most fuel-efficient car company. And every Hyundai is backed by Hyundai Assurance, including America's best warranty. Drive home a Sonata for 0% APR plus $1,000 bonus cash, or lease one for $199 a month. Visit your local Hyundai dealer and get a $500 Eco-Trade bonus today.
Doing my stuff. Why are you taking it?
I've had enough, Ryan.
Had enough of what? What are you doing? Why is my TV and games out here? Don't just drop my stuff.
Drugs.
What are you talking about?
I found them in your room.
No, Dad. Dad, no. Put the bat down. Dad! That's my TV and my stuff. Are you kidding me? Dad, stop!
Sometimes what you want to do isn't what you should do. We can help. The partnership at drugfree.org.
Reggie Jackson has seen 2 pitches.
David Cone is 1 out. Tying run, second and third, 2 out.
They're 1 strike away from their 100.
As we go to the bottom of the 11th, here's Aaron Boone to lead off.
Deep to left. It is good.
27 up, 27 down. Baseball immortality.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
That's one of the greatest games you will ever see.
Yankees Classics, the greatest Yankees games ever, only on Yes. Let's take a look at today's Lexus Yankees lineup for the series finale. Derek Jeter leading things off, followed by Curtis Granderson, Mark Teixeira, and Robbie Cano batting cleanup, hoping to continue his great month of June. Nick Swisher bats fifth. It's Ibanez, Chavez, Martin doing the catching, and Dwayne Wise is out in left field. Well, we mentioned that Jeter, Cano, and Granderson voted in as starters for the American League All-Star team. Joining them in the outfield, Josh Hamilton and Jose Bautista. The DH will be David Ortiz, Adrian Beltre, Cecil Fielder, Prince Fielder will man the corners. Cecil Day, of course, and then Mike Napoli for the Rangers behind the plate. All right, good to have you back once again. Let's talk about the pitching matchup today. Gavin Floyd against Phil Hughes. And we're going to take a closer look at Hughes' last outing, courtesy of PC Richard & Son, the official appliance and electronics retailer of the Yankees. And in that game, well, he was pretty solid in that one as he lasted 8 innings against the Indians.
Gave up 6 hits, Bob. He struck out 4. It was actually only the second time in his career that he had pitched at least 8 scoreless innings. And he needed that start. It was a bounce-back start. He needed to be more aggressive, and he talked about it after the game. He had a very good curveball. He had that fastball. But once again, whenever we talk about being aggressive with Phil Hughes, it's smart aggressive. Don't just put the ball down the middle. Be smart where you locate it.
All right, time for another break. When we come back, final thoughts from here on the field before we send things up to the booth for the call of the game with Michael Kay and Paul O'Neill.
Today, with the swipe of a comb, the last gray-haired man on Earth disappeared.
This is how the gray era met its end. Just for Men Auto Stop. It's a breakthrough. No mix, no mess. It just combs in. And the Auto Stop formula automatically shuts off at just the right color for the perfect look. It's foolproof. New, Just for Men Auto Stop. Gray is over.
Everything looks good in pinstripes. So can you with the Yankees Edition Ford Escape.
The Yankees Edition Escape. Register at your local Tri-State Ford dealer or Yankees.com/Ford, and you could drive one home from the game on July 17th. Get your Tri-State Ford dealer.
Let's say you need one of these, or one of these.
Well, PC Richard & Son has thousands of air conditioners, every size and BTU, all the quality brands.
At the guaranteed lowest prices. Save on our huge selection of barbecue grills, too.
Weber, Lynx, Viking, Wolf, and more.
Charbroil gas grill, just $99.
Buy any Weber gas grill and get free assembly.
Quality brands, huge savings.
At the guaranteed lowest prices on air conditioners and barbecue grills.
Nobody beats PC Richard & Son.
Your dad's really giving him the business.
The designated hitter's the best thing to happen to baseball.
But it's not the same game. Wow, he's gonna get us a good deal.
It's better.
No, it's not. It was
A pitcher comes up and he's on Tegan buns.
Whatever.
Oh, we're good with 0% APR for 60 months.
Oh, yeah, totally. Thank you so much.
That must have been brutal.
The Volkswagen Autobahn for All event. At 0% APR for 60 months, no one needs to know how easy it was to get your new Volkswagen. That's the power of German engineering.
The game is about to start. Go to papajohns.com now to order your Bronx Bomber special. 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for just $5.99 each when you buy 2 or more.
Let's take another look at today's Toyota text poll question. Which of these annual fan favorites do you enjoy the most? Text 1 for 4th of July, 2 for the All-Star Game, or 3 for Old Timers Day. Text your vote to 42951. Standard text message rates apply, and we will have the results during the ball game. Good to have you back once again here on the Tri-State Ford pregame. Final thoughts here from the field before we get to the ball game. And, you know, both of these teams, if they get a win today, obviously that's not possible. They both can't win. But for the White Sox, it would be 3 of 4, something to feel really good about. For the Yankees, it would be gaining a split, but winning the last two, maybe